Entertainment and Sports Network.
It was a long night's journey into today at Yankee Stadium. Earlier today, the Yankees got put away by the Red Sox for the third time in as many games. Not too good, but today they turn the page. Derek Jeter continues his quest for 3,000 against the Cleveland Indians. And you also get a gift, a Jorge Posada figurine. And it's a nice dirty one, too. He had a big game. He's got grass stains all over himself. As tonight, the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Cleveland Indians in the first of four from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Ken Singleton and Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. It was not a good 3 days for the New York Yankees, and yesterday it was tough. 3 hours and 27 minutes. That was the rain delay, and it didn't turn out to be worth the wait. The Yankees were swept for the second time at home by the Boston Red Sox, 1-8 overall against Boston this year. They're now 2 games behind the Red Sox in the East. They entered the series 1 game up. And oh, by the way, 6 hit batsmen in the series. 5 of them were Yankees before Ortiz was finally plunked by Sabathia in yesterday's game. But Paul, the Yankees were leading 2-0. Everything was going great. Sabathia looked good, and then the roof fell in the 7th inning.
Well, the 7th inning showed up, and Ortiz started off with kind of a redemption. Jed Lowry hits a ball down here. Nick Swisher thought he was going to get a carry. It ends up being a triple. Mike Cameron, that's the at-bat, a 3-2 pitch fastball that absolutely blew this inning open. All of a sudden, CC Sabathia got up. Second time in the inning, Ortiz comes up, drives a double to left center field. They were on their roll right there, and you could see the emotion. The Boston Red Sox were out to beat the Yankees.
Well, absolutely, because for the second time at Yankee Stadium, the Red Sox did sweep the Yankees. Well, as we said, it's time to turn the page as we look at tonight's New York Lottery pitching matchup. For the Indians, Fausto Carmona, 3-7, 5.33. Ivan Nova will go for the Yankees, 4-4. 4.50. Kenny, he's been somewhat of an enigma this year.
Yeah, this is his first ever appearance against the Cleveland Indians, so maybe the act of surprise will work for him tonight. His last 3 starts, well, they haven't been all that good. He's had 2 no decisions and a loss. Actually, against the Mets, the Yankees won that ball game. Then against the Mariners out on the West Coast, he struggled, got a no decision. The Yankees lost that ball game. And finally, in Anaheim, he took the loss against the Angels, as the Yankees actually did pretty well on the West Coast trip, winning 6 of 9, but Nova didn't pitch all that well and got an ache in the hand on that line drive right back through the middle.
And they tried to ice it down, made it feel a little bit better. And as Kenny mentioned, a good West Coast trip will do the trick. Hey, the Cleveland Indians are in first place on June 10th. What are they about? Let's learn about them. And who's going to tell us? Ken Singleton on segment 2 next.
Stadium. We're getting ready for a 4-game series to start tonight between the Yankees and the Cleveland Indians. We're going to talk a little bit about the Cleveland Indians, who got off to a tremendous start this year. Cleveland Indians out of the gate, they went 30-15. They were averaging over 5 runs per ball game, and they were leading the Central Division in the American League by 7 games. Well, recently they have struggled. The Indians' record in their last 15 ball games, 4-11. They've dropped to just over 2 runs per ball game, and the fact is that their lead in the Central has dwindled down to just 1 game over the second-place Detroit Tigers. Grady Sizemore, their best player, was out at the beginning of the year. He came back, got off to a pretty good start, was injured again, but now he's back in the lineup once again. Travis Hafner, another one of their big hitters. In fact, Hafner's hitting .485 with runners in scoring position. He is out right now with an oblique problem. But their best player has probably been their shortstop, Asdrubal Cabrera. He should make the All-Star team. He's had a tremendous year, both in the field and at the plate. He's leading all American League shortstops in hits, RBIs, and home runs. Look for him to be in Phoenix at the All-Star game. I'm Ken Singleton. That's it on the Cleveland Indians. We got lineup, first pitch, and baseball coming up next right here on Yes.
We are underway here at the stadium as Ivan Nova deals a pitch low to Michael Brantley. And baseball here in the Bronx. Yankees against the Indians. First game of a 4-game set. Brantley a .295 hitter. And Nova deals a strike. Both of these teams are not coming into this series hot. Indians have lost 6 of their last 7. Yankees have lost their last 3. That one fouled away. Those are the numbers on Nova. 4-4, 4.50, 70 hits in 60 innings. And opponents hit .286 against him. The 1-2. Fly ball, left center. Granderson will put it away for the first out. Let's take a look at the Indians starting lineup presented by Avis. We've already seen Michael Brantley. He's the left fielder. He leads off for the Indians. Batting second and playing shortstop, but what a year he's having, as Asdrubal Cabrera. Grady Sizemore is in center field. He'll at third. The catcher is Carlos Santana cleaning up. Shin-Soo Choo in right field about fifth. Batting sixth and playing first base, Matt Laporta. Cord Phelps, the DH, will hit seventh. Hitting eighth, the second baseman Orlando Cabrera, and Jack Hanahan, the third baseman, bats ninth. There's a strike to Asdrubal Cabrera. Look at these numbers when they pop up. He is having a big-time season. He has really established himself as an all-star candidate. And there's a strike.
Good curveball there, but again, you walk out on the field and you just watch this kid, young kid, take batting practice, and you just know there's something about him. Great hands through the baseball, drives it to all fields.
That one's grounded right side, fielded there by Teixeira, flips to Nova. Quickly, 2 outs.
Here's a Jeep pitcher scouting report on Ivan Nova. His last win came at Tampa Bay against the Rays on May 17th, so it's been a while since he's won a ball game. Just 4 home runs allowed this year. He's done a pretty good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark, and he needs to use his changeup. He can't be a 2-pitch pitcher in the big leagues and try and get through a major league lineup 2 or 3 times. It's tough to do. You got to show something off speed, particularly to the left-handed hitters.
Right, and you saw, even though he got the first couple outs, I mean, he's already missed a couple pitches, and when you're all fastball curveball and you miss that many times with your fastball, you need to get another pitch, just the change in speed.
Here's Grady Sizemore. Started the season on the DL, rebounding from left knee surgery, microfracture surgery, and then went on the DL later on because he hurt his right knee, and since coming off the DL, he has not been the same. And that's the difference with the Indians now than when they started the season red hot. Sizemore's not the same. Travis Hafner's on the DL. This team does not have the depth. They can't absorb injuries as Sizemore goes down swinging. A 1-2-3 inning for Ivan Nova. Indians nothing. And the New York Yankees coming about against Fausto Carmona. Fausto Carmona will face this Yankee lineup, which is presented by Bank of America. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, leads off, batting second, and playing center, Curtis Granderson. Mark Teixeira at first base, he'll hit third. Cleaning up the third baseman, Alex Rodriguez. Robinson Cano at second base will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing right field, Nick Swisher. Jorge Posada will DH, he's going to hit seventh. Batting eighth, playing left field, Brett Gardner. And Francisco Cervelli will catch, and he's going to bat ninth.
Yeah, there's a look at it. Fausto Carmona. What a big year a couple of years ago, but this is what he's done so far this year. This will be his 14th start, 3-7, 5.33, 82 2/3 innings, almost a hit per inning, and opponents hitting .255. Let's check out our Jeep Pitcher Scout report on Fausto Carmona. He hasn't won a ball game since May the 3rd. That's well over a month now. He's road weary, 1-4 on the road this year with a 5.89 ERA. But when he's on, he has a pretty good sinker, decent sinking fastball, and he made the All-Star team last year in the American League.
And he was up in the Cy Young category, and in 2007 won 19 games. Still has great stuff. He had 2 horrible outings against the Chicago White Sox early in the year that really got his ERA up. But you know, as a hitter, when you go up and face guys like this, you wonder, you know, how are their records so bad? How are their ERAs so bad? Because, you know, he can throw in the mid-90s with a lot of movement. Not the typical numbers that would go with a pitcher with this kind of stuff.
If you look up and down this Yankee lineup, everyone has great numbers against Fausto Carmona. Derek Jeter 6 for 20 against Carmona, and Derek, of course, 2,990 hits as he continues to climb toward 3,000.
Yeah, you mentioned the 6 for 20. That's one of the lowest averages against Carmona.
Lifetime Carmona 1-4, 6.53 against the Yanks, and last year 0-2, 11.42 against the Yanks.
The Yankees beat him twice. He pitched twice against the Yankees. He beat him once at Yankee Stadium, and he also beat him in Cleveland.
That's how his career is broken down. Very strange roller coaster. Pitch inside, and Jeter works a walk on 4 pitches. Let's check out the Indians defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. In the outfield, Brantley, Sizemore, and Chu. left to right. You can't run on Chew. He has 8 assists already, and Sizemore with 2 gold gloves. Infield, Hanahan has Drupal Cabrera, Orlando Cabrera, and Matt Laporta. That's third to first. Santana is behind the plate. And we told you about Fausto Carmona. Here's Curtis Granderson, 16 for 36 against Fausto Carmona. Now, obviously, he has more bats because Curtis played for the Tigers for a while.
That's ball 5 right there, 5 in a row. Kind of a strange way to start the game.
It's about time to groove on it.
There's a strike. The walk to Jeter, the Yankees' 169th walk as a team. But that's the fewest in the American League, and that's something that they used to excel at. Those are the numbers we talked about. 2 of the 16 home runs.
You see Carmona right now. I mean, the velocity's there, but he's got so much movement he can't get the ball over the plate, and that's trouble. I mean, when he's can't control his fastball, obviously he's not even able to get to his slider, his curveball, his changeup, nothing else. You've got to get that fastball for strikes early in the game.
Count 2-2 now. One thing the Yankees have to do, and they haven't done it this year, it's always been a hallmark of their teams, they got to protect home court. They're 17-16 at Yankee Stadium. That's not good enough. They've lost 10 of their last 14 here in the Bronx. So they had a good road trip out west, 6-3, but come here and lose. And you kind of, almost bag the road trip with that.
It used to be when the teams came into either old Yankee Stadium or the new Yankee Stadium, they knew they had a tough venue to play in, and usually they felt good winning 1 out of 3 before leaving.
Let's see if they send Jeter on 3-2. They do. Swing and a miss. Double clutch. Throw to second. Goes into center field. Jeter stays right there with a stolen base.
I don't know about you, Michael, but we've seen a lot of it the first 4 games since I've been in. We've seen a lot of these catchers going right out to center field. I think the target's off out there. You see a double clutch here and kind of just launches it.
It's like they move second base to short center field. Santana double clutches, overthrows Cabrera. Struble Cabrera. Ball's into center. Jeter has the 7th stolen base.
Cabrera did a good job there of kind of like holding a tag to cheat, so he kind of hesitated, couldn't go to third.
Here's Teixeira. Pitches low. I talked to Tony Pena today, Yankee bench coach, who works with the catchers. I said, why are Cervelli's throws sailing on the second base side of the bag and into center field? And we saw the same thing with Santana. He said, because in their haste to be quick, they open up their shoulder. And that's just exactly what you don't want a pitcher to do. And everything rides away. You're too quick. He said you have to keep that shoulder closed and throw to second base, and it won't ride that way. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 80 degrees, 57% humidity, not much wind, and the chance of thunderstorms delights everybody involved.
Didn't you guys get that out of the way last night?
Wow.
You missed some beauties, Ken. A couple 100-degree days up here, a couple thunderstorms.
But Kenny was roasting in Baltimore as we were roasting here.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly Antarctica down there. It was south, but not that far south.
Count 3-0. Now, Yankee fans might look at Carmona and go, why do I remember him? Alex is on deck, and the reason is that he was the guy who started for the Indians in Game 2 in 2007, the night that the Midgets attacked Jabba Chamberlain.
The Midgets.
The Midgets. The 3-0 is outside, so Teixeira works a walk. 7 walk issued by Carmona. And that game he pitched very well. Game 2 of the ALDS. 9 innings, 3 hits, a run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 113 pitches. And they found out later that was not what you should do, is spray that stuff on you. And Jabba Chamberlain was just attacked, and the back of his neck looked like pastrami. It was just awful.
That was like a catnip for midgets.
I remember sitting in the tunnel that night with you, Michael.
Yeah,
just like,
absolutely.
Because there were no bugs down there. I mean, you're looking at the monitors thinking, you got to be kidding me with this.
Now, that was the last series that Joe Torre ever managed for the Yankees, as Joe Girardi took over in 2008. And Torre has actually admitted, he said that's a regret of his in his tenure. He said, I should have just pulled the team off the field because the midgets do move through, and they did. He said it wasn't fair to keep Job out there like that. He said if he had a do-over, that's what he would do.
I gotta wonder what Tim Belcher, the pitching coach, is thinking. He's standing on the top step there, just watching his pitcher struggle with his control after warming up the bullpen to start the game.
You see everything, and that slider is not a lot of break. His fastball is tailing too much, which means, you know, you talked about it, Michael, that front shoulder opening up and then just kind of slinging the ball and just getting too much movement.
You faced Tim Belcher, didn't you?
Oh yeah, many times.
One pitch away from walking, bases loaded.
Cano on deck. 3 for 10. Alex is against Fausto Carmona. Foul back. The count 3-2. Tonight's closed captioning brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Do they send the runners again on 3-2? They do. And a walk. Just missed the outside corner. So 3 walks by Carmona have loaded the bases, and that's going to bring Belcher out.
Interesting pitch selection there. He went to the breaking ball 3-2 because he couldn't get his fastball anywhere near the plate. So he tries to sneak a breaking ball. It's like sneaking a breaking ball by Alex Rodriguez. Too low, too outside. Bases are loaded, and as we thought, Tim Belcher, pitching coach, out to the mound.
Now, speaking of Tim Belcher, as he stands on the mound and Derek Jeter stands on third base, it was Belcher who served up Derek Jeter's first hit while with the Seattle Mariners. IOTV offers incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. IOTV is the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. And that first hit came in 1995. Derek was called up to replace an injured player, and he picked up his first hit. Stood alongside future teammate Tino Martinez, who was down with Seattle at first base, and that started the countdown.
Single to left field, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So bases loaded with the Yankees as they would like to break out here after a miserable 3 games against the Red Sox. Here's Cano, 8 for 20 lifetime against Carmona. That's what he's done so far this year. Cano was 2 for 11 against the Red Sox, and he's 5 for his last 24.
You know how numbers can be misleading. You say 8 for 20. He's hitting 400 against them. But the thing is that it also works how you are hitting right now. Now, Cano's just 5 for his last 24. So he might, when he was faced with 8 for 20, he might have been hitting a lot better and seeing the ball better than he is now.
Robbie's really gone outside the zone the past couple of days, and you know that's his biggest thing when he struggles. I mean, right there, I mean that's a borderline pitch. A guy is struggling with bases loaded.
Make him bring the ball up. He's got a good sinker. He's having problems throwing it. That was close to being a strike, but it was a good low sinker. That's where Carmona wants to stay all night long. About knee high with that sinking action on his fastball, so he can get the ground balls. These are the type of pitchers you want to make them bring the ball up at least thigh high.
Count 1 and 2.
Again, those are, I mean, that's a true sinker right there, and that's the problem with Carmona. I mean, he can walk the bases loaded and then come up and throw this kind of pitch, and again, that ball ends up out of the zone. You see Robbie's front hip going out a little bit, and when you kind of lunge and open up, kind of expand the strike zone a little bit.
Hey, Cano doesn't have that many walks this year. Nine.
Yeah. See, that swing right there is kind of a pull swing, and you know Robbie is so good when he stays up the middle in the left center field.
Santana comes up with that one.
And one of the better young catchers in the league, Carlos Santana.
Pretty good guitar player too.
Yeah. Change your evil ways. He's in Cleveland. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, isn't he? That's right.
Absolutely.
Right across the street from Progressive Field.
Yeah, when you went in for a 3-day series at Cleveland, that was one of the afternoons. That's how you spent one of the days was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Runners on. They hit 341 against him with 8 homers. Bases empty, 200. But the runners are on because of him. He's walked them. There's no one to blame but himself here. Walked Jeter, walked Teixeira, walked A-Rod. Now the count 2-2 on Cano with 1 out. Will he walk Cano? Bases are loaded.
I'll tell you what, if you just look at every pitch, I mean, he has having struck. He cannot locate on the inside. He can't locate on the outside. Doesn't have a pitch right now, and as much trouble as he's in first inning, has not found a pitch that he knows he can throw for a strike.
Cano stays alive.
These are situations that, you know, we look back at the last series, the Boston Red Sox just came through in these situations.
And Cano comes through there. Hot shot to right field, a base hit. And they hold up Teixeira. So Jeter scores. Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
That's a lot of respect for Shin So-Chu in center field, in right field. He does have a very strong arm. This ball is almost to the warning track.
So Teixeira hesitates just a little bit.
And he made a strong throw.
Yeah, right off his back foot too, and that's the thing. It's not like he had everything going. You see Mark Teixeira right there, just making sure it drops. Robbie Thompson pulls that hand up early. A lot of respect for that arm in right field.
He has 8 assists. And he had 14 last year, most in the majors. And his 8 right now tie Ryan Ludwig for the most in the majors.
He can throw. Not only is his strong arm, he's very accurate.
Here's Nick Swisher. Count 1-0.
Now you're going to see a difference in styles. Cano's up there just hacking and just fouling pitches off. Nick Swisher's the type he's going to make you throw a strike. There's nothing wrong with getting an RBI, walk with the bases loaded. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, if you saw that last hit by Robbie Cano, was really the first pitch he saw in the whole count that was up in the zone, and it allowed him to drive the ball to the outfield, get it up in the air.
Count 1-1.
See, everything was a sinker down. You see right here, Robbie stayed through that ball, but you see where that pitch is. That's waist high. And everything was in there. Great swing.
That one's driven out to left field. Deep. Brantley back. He'll make the play. Tagging is Teixeira. He'll score easily. It's a sac fly for Swisher, his 19th ribby. And the Yankees lead 2-0.
So the first 2 walks that come around to score.
And Nick Swisher again gets a ball up in the zone. Good piece of hitting with a man on third base. Just misses it. Unable to drive it over Brantley's head, but job well done.
Looked like a Paul O'Neill stroke to me. That fastball going away from you, just hit it out to left field, pick up a sacrifice fly, run batted in.
Don't try to pull it. You're running the dugout with a double play. Right? But again, these are the innings of the Yankees that have an opportunity to really throw up big runs. And, you know, I think you're somewhat disappointed when you go in there 2-0. I mean, big at bat for Georgie right here.
Posada takes a strike.
You start off the game with, you know, bases loaded with walks, and you think you could throw up a big number. And the Yankees, so far in this homestand, have not been able to do that.
Posada has the most hits of any Yankee this month. He's got 8 hits.
This is a big day for Jorge. Figurine day. Jorge Figurine day.
And you commented on, I've never seen a bobblehead or figurine with dirt mixed in.
Type of player he is. He need that. Grass stain on the leg.
Been known to grind it out.
Had a base hit yesterday. Pushed him over 200 for the first time since April 5th. He's at 203. There it is. See, right here. You got it here. You got it here. Get yourself a player.
Yeah, he had a double previous that bat.
1-2. 2-2.
And Carmona, 35 pitches, not out of the first inning yet. Guys in the bullpen are probably stretching thinking, boy, this is going to be one of our nights.
Grounded foul. So 36 pitches, 21 of them out of the strike zone. Did they ever have a Paul O'Neill bobblehead?
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah.
In Cincinnati or here?
Here. I think they had to back it up with a second night because they couldn't get rid of the first night. Does that make sense? I think that's what Don Zimmer told me. I wasn't in town. There's
a run on the turnstiles to get those. There's a line drive, base hit to right field. Alex Rodriguez will score. Cano moves to third. It's an RBI single for Jorge Posada. The real one, not the figurine. It's 3-0 Yanks.
All 3 walks have come in to score. And Jorge continues to have the most hits of any Yankee in the month of June. This is his 9th hit of the month. Little sinker, he went out and got it. Good piece of hitting, gets the barrel. Watch him get the barrel to the ball. The ball's going to be out in this direction. Boom. Line drive, center field, base hit, RBI. The inning continues. Oh, that is unbelievable.
That's just too good right there.
Look at that follow through. Life imitating art.
Go figurine.
Wow.
Here's Brett Gardner.
Go what?
Go figurine.
Yep.
And there is a strike.
I have to know that just went right over my head. I'm glad you repeated it. Brett Gardner, I mean, he didn't. He's another guy that you need to really get going, get him out running the bases. Offensively, you really you look at Nick Swisher, Gardner out in the outfield that can produce some runs for you. Or hey, you know, the last week or so, you're really starting to get confident that he's going to turn this thing around now. He's getting some big hits.
This will be the 40th pitch. Chopped right side. Orlando Cabrera will do it. And that will do it as the Yankees score 3 runs on 2 hits. 2 men left. 3-0 Yankees. broadcast is brought to you in part by Chase. Deposit checks from your smartphone with quick deposit. Take a step forward and chase what matters. By Grey Goose, the world's best tasting vodka. And by IOTV. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. Well, big day for Jorge Posada. Jorge Posada figurine day. And a big day for our good buddy, Ken Singleton.
Oh, no.
It is his birthday.
Oh, my
Happy
goodness.
birthday, buddy.
Hey, Agnes, how you doing?
Hey, we got a real
Very
cake.
nice.
Oh, my goodness.
That lights up O'Neill and it
The only
lights
thing
you
we're
up.
missing is a little ice cream, Kenny, and I'm sure it's on the way.
Well, thank you, everybody. But you're still going to need me when I'm 64.
Well,
Remember that Paul McCartney?
That's right.
Yeah.
Make a wish. There you
There
go.
we go. Thank you.
And may you live as long as you want, but never have to want as long as you live.
All right. That's good words to live by. Oh, this is good. Thanks, everybody.
Happy birthday, buddy.
All right.
One of nature's noblemen.
Thank you, everybody in the truck. I don't know if there's enough cake for everybody, though.
Yeah, with O'Neill in the equation. Pitch to Carlos Santana. Count 1-0. It's also Freddie Garcia's birthday. You had to give Kenny's the year of birth. Is that what you really needed to do?
That's all right. It's just a number. It's how you feel.
It's an ugly number, though, Kenny.
Yeah.
we can edit that a little bit if you want to.
Kenny's got a knife in his hand, okay?
Flip those last two numbers.
There's a strike. 3-0 Yankees. As we enter the top of the second inning.
You have to send Freddie down some of this birthday cake, huh?
Oh, great catch by a fan in the stands. One hand. And he took it from a guy who was wearing an O'Neill shirt.
Hey, they still got those out there, huh? You know, it's funny you're talking about that year. The other day we were.
That one is hammered to right field. Had a nice play there by Swisher. Got a good jump. Take a look at the Yankee defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. We just saw Swisher out right. We've got Granderson in center, Gardner in left. And let's go on the infield third to first. Hey-Rod Jeter, Cano to Sheriff, Cervelli behind the plate, Nova on the mound.
Kenny, back to what I was talking about. You know, you look at the years, and we were talking about the draft the other day, and we had the numbers and the draft choices, and born 92, born 93. I'm like, come on. It's like when you graduate from college, not when you're born or something, right?
My goodness. Yeah, they're getting younger. We're getting older. You hang around baseball, it keeps you young.
Yeah.
Try and figure out what's going on with some of these players. What's going on with Shin-So Choo this year? He's not having the year he had last year.
Well, you know what? He was a talk of.
That one's hammered to right field and caught by Swisher.
Talk of a lot of teams last year that, you know, he fit in great with team because he fundamentally he did everything. He's for power, he's for average, great outfielder, great arm, just an all-around good baseball player. But you're right, Kenny. This year he's been a little subpar, but again, you got to realize it is June. There are a lot of games left. And that's what scares the Cleveland fans right now when they're one game up. There's a lot of games left.
Choo hit 300 each of the last 2 years, right on the nose.
Yeah, you like to have a little cushion when you go into the last couple of days, just in case you don't get a few hits, you know.
One year I had to get a hit my last AB to get to 300.
Oh. And it happened, huh?
Yeah, it did.
What a difference the back of that baseball card looks. 299 to
299 looks very subpar to 300.
I want to apologize. Earlier I misspoke. I said that 169 walks with the Yankees. That's the fewest. I had that all wrong. Indian pitchers have issued the fewest walks. The Yankees have the most walks. So I got a couple of emails about that, and I'm glad you guys corrected me. So I apologize. I misspoke. The Indians have issued the fewest walks. The Yankees have the most walks.
You know what? I noticed you did that, but I just let it go. I thought we'd just forget about it. I didn't want to make an issue.
I knew eventually he would get it right. That's the way Michael is.
Thanks, Kenny.
It's your birthday today.
The 2-2. Did he go? Yes, he did. A 1-2-3 inning. for Nova. He has retired all 6 Indians that he's faced. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It's 3-0 Yankees.
By Excel Express, enjoy the journey. The Yankees play Cleveland tonight, tomorrow night on Yes, tomorrow afternoon on Yes, Sunday afternoon on Yes, and then Sunday night, a 4-game series. Then the Texas Rangers come in, and then the Yankees hit the road. They're going to play the Chicago Cubs, headed to Wrigley Field.
Then they're heading to Cincinnati. Come on, you got to mention that too.
Well, that's after Chicago. It didn't show up there.
I got 3 home games this year.
I was on that Excella today. I enjoyed the journey too.
We actually today interviewed Ray Lewis for Future Center Stage, and he came up to New York on the Excella. He said there's no better way to travel.
He's in Florida, right?
No, he lives in Baltimore.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
It's a long way from Florida. I thought he was in like Highland Beach, Florida or something.
Well, he was born in Lakeland.
Okay.
Then went to University of Miami. But Kenny knows he's iconic in Baltimore. They think that after he retires, he can be mayor if he wants to.
Were you looking across the couch thinking, I'd like to block you?
No, that didn't even come to my mind. No.
You didn't have that in your eyes?
I think you have to live in the city to be the mayor. He actually lives out in the county, so I don't know if he could actually become mayor. He'd have to move into the city.
I think he's got the scratch to move into the city.
Yeah, I think he does too.
Wow.
Ooh. This is one of these guys you got to wait out.
Well, he started off a little low, then he went high, got a couple hits, and that was real low. Now he's back to the real low one.
But what I don't understand, they have 169 walks, which is the fewest. I mean, has he had all of them?
I was just going to say the rest of the staff's got about 2.
Grounded deep to third. Hanahan across the diamond and 1 away.
Wednesday, actor John Turturro sits down with Michael Kay for an all-new GMC Presents Center Stage. The Brooklyn native chronicles his successful stage and screen career, including his rise to fame and his portrayal of Billy Martin. That was great. It's a new Center Stage, Wednesday at 11, only on Yes. Michael usually gives us a little scouting report at each one of his Center Stage.
You know what? He's almost like an academician about acting. I mean, he could really break it down, and he's a huge Yankee fan, so it was a real honor for him to play Billy Martin and study tapes of Martin and everything. Derek Jeter fouls him back.
All right.
What do you got?
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Indian pitchers have had 169 walks coming into the game. We're jokingly saying Carmona's got the majority of them. Throw me a number out there. How many has he got?
How many does he have? All right, so he's 3-7.
What, 13 starts?
Okay, I would say that he has 42.
26 walks. So this is not been his typical outing.
Nice play by Hanahan, and he took a base hit away from Jeter.
Hanahan's having a very good year defensively at third base for the Cleveland Indians. He's #1 in fielding percentage in the league, and sometimes these numbers could be misleading because sometimes you don't get the balls. They're just base hits all the time. You don't get an error, but he actually leads in chances per game, which leads you to believe that the Indians have a lot of sinker ball pitchers, as we watch this on Yesmo, like Carmona. They get a lot of ground balls. That's a nice play.
Left side of that infield, that's some defense, because Cabrera really handles himself well at shortstop.
Hanahan used to be with the Oakland A's. Remember him with Oakland?
I'll tell you what, I saw a game highlight the other day of the Oakland A's with the old 70s uniform with the gold tops and just the white shoes. It brought back some good memories.
You don't have to say old.
Well, it's old because I think about when I watch it.
Drill to right field. There it goes. See ya. Home run number 19 for Granderson. A bullet into the second deck. 4-0 Yanks.
When you're struggling with your control, you're just as apt to throw one right down the middle as you are to throw one in the dirt. And this one was right in Granderson's happy zone. That's 2 nights in a row now. He's gone deep.
Yeah, he came into last night, kind of struggling and put himself kind of in a slump, and he had a big home run against Josh Beckett. And again, every once in a while, it only takes one before. You used to tell me all the time. I never believed you, though, when you're kind of in those slumps that, you know, those home runs, they come in bunches. They're like bananas.
Look out!
Wow. Teixeira is fired up, and that is your classic. Guy hits a home run, I'm going to throw it the next guy.
You know what? That was very weak. Yeah, come on. He's a big guy. Big enough that you can throw somebody and throw at somebody's head and jeopardize their career.
And the bullpens are empty. So are the benches.
I don't know that Cleveland knows what just has been going on with Boston here lately, and this is the kind of stuff that gets people hurt. I mean, this is not your typical, you know, take care of itself. You just don't do that.
You know, we know the Indians have been struggling. They've lost 6 out of 7 on the homestand. Maniac, Joe Girardi going out. You know what Joe's thinking? I'm tired of seeing my guys that use his pinatas at the plate.
If you're Fausto Carmona, how in the world can you be mad at anything? I mean, you walk the bases loaded. I mean, your control's been all over the place. You can only blame yourself for the 4 runs that are on the board at this point.
And then you threw the ball right down the middle of Granderson, hitting to the second deck. That's not Teixeira who threw it there. To me, pitchers throw at hitters when they have no confidence they can get them out. And I know Teixeira, only his ability to get out of the way kept him from hitting.
He said, throw it over the plate.
You know, you can usually tell by the reaction of the pitcher, and there was no reaction from Cabrera, like, that got away from me, and that's what bothers me.
See, his control right now in this game is not good enough to brush somebody back. This is what could happen. It could have been a lot worse. We've seen him all over the place. Now he's trying to brush somebody back, or maybe hit him on purpose.
So Act is going, well, what do you want me to do? And then they start going at it. And they really start drawing.
I think only Dale Scott kept that from getting worse.
Oh, boy, were they fired up.
And they have to be. I mean, these are the leaders of the team. Joe has taken so much lately from the press and things about this, and it's just
You got the Yankees having lost 3 straight to Boston. They're blood rivals, and you got the Indians having lost 6 out of 7 on a homestand. So both of their fuses are short on both sides right now.
Now I was talking to Kurt Schilling, former Red Sox and Diamondback, the other day, and he said, one thing I never understood, one thing I never did as a pitcher, why would you throw it the next guy after a guy hit a home run? That guy had nothing to do with it. He said, why? Because I couldn't get the other guy out. I'm going to throw it the next guy. There's a ground ball to third. Hanahan will go to second, and that will do it. So the Yankees get a run on the home run by Granderson and some extracurricular activity as well. One man left. Tempin. So things certainly got heated after the Granderson home run. A solo shot, his 19th of the year. And then Mark Teixeira climbed in, and Fausto Carmona went up and behind, which nobody really likes. And it hit Mark Teixeira, got out of the way of getting hit in the head, but hit him on the back. Then Temper's got the best of everybody. The bench is cleared. So did the bullpens. And then Manny Acta, the manager of the Indians, and Joe Girardi, the manager of the Yankees, nose to nose with Baines bulging. And there's a strike to Cord Phelps. The Lincoln scoreboard, it's 4-0 Yankees.
I realize, Teixeira almost got carried off the field 2 days ago from getting hit by Lester. So, I mean, it's everything's kind of adding together now, and it's a frustrating part of time for both these teams.
Hot shot to Jeter. Nicely backhanded on the short hop. And they get Phelps for the first out.
Phelps recently recalled from the minor leagues, was hitting .299 in AAA. This is his second major league game. He's looking for his first major league hit. He hit that ball pretty well. Wrong direction though. Nice backhand by Derek Jeter. Straightens up, has plenty of time. Although I was watching Phelps go down the line. He runs pretty well.
Swing and a miss by Orlando Cabrera. You know, yesterday, hit batters were certainly a storyline. Both Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez were hit. And then CC Sabathia, that one's grounded. And grabbed there by A-Rod. People flashing leather today for the second out.
These are plays, Kenny, that are made on a major league field where you have a clue where the ball's going to hop. Jeet had a short hop. That's a good play by Alex Rodriguez. Balls are hit hard, but you know, Nova's been throwing strikes. Guys are on their toes.
Minor leagues, you might have a couple of hits.
Yeah, balls bouncing over their head, everything else.
So 2 away. Here's Hanahan. And finally, David Ortiz was plunked by CC Sabathia in the 5th inning yesterday, and I went back and looked at the velocities of all the pitches, and the pitch that hit Ortiz was the fastest pitch that Sabathia threw all night, 97 miles an hour.
Just to make sure he couldn't get out of the way.
And if you think that stuff like that doesn't matter, talking to the Yankees today around the cage, they couldn't say enough good things about CC Sabathia for stepping up and doing that. And that's what an ace does. There's a base hit, first base hit for the Indians. Granderson cuts the ball off before it hits the wall, but it's all the way out there on the warning track, so Hanahan gets a double.
Did you hear Ortiz's press conference?
No, I did not.
Where I think he almost like thanked the media.
He blamed the media.
Yeah, I finally got hit. Are you happy? Kind of like in that tone.
I don't get that. I mean, do you think that the Yankees listen to the media? Are they hating him because the media said it?
You know, all he had to do, Michael, was look down at the bench at Josh Beckett for hitting Jeter and hitting A-Rod. That's why CC Sabathia hit him. It's not the media.
No.
And also, it was 5-1. 5 Yankees got hit before 1 Red Sox got hit. There's Michael Brantley.
I'm almost starting to think pitchers should hit again.
Yeah.
They think they would think differently of just indiscriminately hitting hitters.
Find out who the real tough guy is.
Well, yeah, you would. Grab a bat, grab a nice strong helmet, and get up there.
Yeah.
Foul boy. Now the Yankees know that Teixeira's hit on purpose, but there are a lot of things to consider when you look at this narrative. It's a kid on the mound. CC Sabathia knows how to do it. He hit him perfectly, didn't hurt him. But Ivan Nova is a kid. Noesi the other night, he was a kid. They don't do that. They don't feel comfortable.
There's also a thing, you know, Joe Girardi might have gone to Nova and said, hey, we need you to pitch tonight. You know, you've got a lead. We need you to pitch. They've been warned. You go out and hit somebody, you're out of the game. Now we're back in the bullpen. So.
And here's the warning issued by Dale Scott. Listen, that's a warning.
Yeah.
So if Nova does throw at somebody, he's going to get thrown out, and so will Girardi.
You know what? But I'll give Nova credit. I think we were doing a game in Toronto last year, Michael, when he dusted to Jose Bautista. Bautista hit a home run off him, and next time up he dusted him. I was impressed by that.
The 1-2. Grounded to second. Right there is Cano. And that'll do it. So 3 scoreless innings for Ivan Nova. No runs ahead, no errors, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. 4-0 Yankees. Nothing on the Lincoln scoreboard. 4-3 and 0, leading 0-1 and 0. And now we bring in our very own Kim Jones. She's down by the Indians dugout. And Kim, the big news today is that Jabba Chamberlain has gotten a second opinion. He is going to have surgery. When is it going to be, Kim?
He's going to have the surgery Thursday in Pensacola, Florida, Michael. It will be performed by Dr. James Andrews, who simply confirmed what Jabba and the Yankees knew yesterday, that he does, in fact, need Tommy John surgery. The timetable, generally a year, according to Joe Girardi. But Jabba says he'll be back better than ever.
You know, it's funny because I talked to a couple of people, including Jabba's dad, and he's somewhat optimistic that Jabba could be back by spring training, as that one's a hot shot up the middle, a base hit for Cano. And the reasoning was, and I think it's pretty sound, Kim, is that if you're a starter, it takes a year or more. But as a reliever, you're really just preparing for one inning and building up to that. He might be back by spring training.
Well, Jabba already is convinced he is going to have the best rehab from the surgery that's ever been had. He told me that after the surgery, you won't see me. Why? He says, I'm going to have the surgery, go home. He said, I will watch every single inning, but I'm not going to be around baseball. Why? He says, it's important to me to approach this like the calm before the storm. The storm, he says, is rehab. He knows how tough it's going to be. But yes, he is much like his father, Harlan. He is very optimistic, not only that he can come back strong, but come back more quickly than many people will guess.
Kim, I know you spoke at length with Jabba. How's he handling this mentally?
He seems to have turned a corner from when I talked to him yesterday, Michael, and yet I asked him a couple times because I was watching his eyes. I said, are you getting emotional about this? He said no. I'm not 100% sure I believe him, but I can tell you his resolve is strong. He was very firm with what he said and with his belief about the rehab and return.
All right, now something of a less, at least it seems like, severe nature of injury. Russell Martin, again, not in there. How is his back?
His back is better, but that does not mean he's available. Russell Martin hoping to swing a bat tomorrow. When he was lifting weights after Tuesday night's game and that back locked up, it really set him back for these few days. As we know, Cervelli's in there again tonight. And Joe Girardi saying before the game, Jorge Posada is indeed the emergency catcher.
Now, what's changed with that, Kim? Because for the longest time, I thought the emergency catcher was Eduardo Nunez. Yeah. They didn't want Jorge to go near the catcher's mitt. What's changed?
I think that's a terrific question. Perhaps just the necessity of the situation. Joe saying, you know, we don't think he's forgotten how to catch. That would be an interesting thing to run by Posada, who, of course, has not forgotten how to, but hasn't done it since last season.
Line drive, and caught there by Orlando Cabrera for the first out as Cano gets back.
Did you hear that? That was a terrific question by him.
You think so?
Is that the first one, Kim, he's thrown you all year?
I think there have been a few, Paul. There have been a few.
Just checking.
All right, now on a more happy note, Jorge Posada feeling good about his son's surgery, and from what I'm hearing, Kim, the rehab is going very well.
Jorge III undergoing his 9th operation, Michael, 2 days ago. And Jorge says that his son's in some pain, but doing very well. The doctors are very pleased. Jorge says everything's going to be okay. He also says thank you to the many well-wishers he and his family have heard from over these past couple of days. And one lighter note, it is indeed Jorge Posada figurine night. He's going to take a couple of those home to his kids tonight, and they'll enjoy them.
And he's going to get a couple of hits as well as he picks up his second hit. He has been on fire in the early part of this month. Kim, we'll talk to you later. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
7 for his last 16. Jorge Posada.
You go through a horrible April and May, and then, you know, every once in a while you get something in life that brings you back to perspective. And, I mean, he has looked so good lately.
Yeah, we're talking about the Jabba going through the Tommy John surgery. Another solid hit by Jorge Posada. I was actually on deck when Tommy John suffered the injury.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and it was interesting because he just walked off the mound and went up the tunnel at Dodger Stadium, and I thought, well, he'll be back. You know, just equipment malfunction.
Didn't know that you saw history in the sense of a surgery that changed the whole.
And he went to Dr. Job, and they came up with this surgery, taking a tendon from, I think, his other arm,
from his wrist, right?
Yeah. And he came back and pitched. I don't know how many games he won after, almost maybe 200 games after that.
And that was an experimental surgery because otherwise his career would have been over.
Yeah, it had never been done before.
How old was he? I mean, was he at the end of his career?
No, because he was in his 30s. But he pitched well into his 40s. I think he was 45 when he retired.
zone is still struggling with it. Just he's trying everything and cannot find the release point for that sinker. He hasn't had one inning where he's gone out there and had good stuff and good control.
That one's driven deep to right center field, giving Chase Chu on the run. That's going to be one hop up against the wall. Cano scores, and they are going to hold up Posada. And diving back to second with a double is Gardner as the Yankees lead 5-0.
What's interesting there is Gardner probably would have had a triple if Jorge wasn't on in front of him. About here he's thinking three, but once he's take a look. Oh, Posada's still at third. I got to get back.
Slow moving vehicle ahead.
One runner to a base. But still he gets a double, and that was a boomer off the bat of Brett Gardner.
Against Cervelli, I mean, he's been good at this. This is a good time for him to hit. He really kind of envisions up the middle. Been very good with driving guys in. Cervelli's got the aerodynamic helmet with the holes in the top of it.
Pitch inside. Cervelli a 364 hitter with runners in scoring position this year. He was 31 years old when he had the surgery. Chad Durbin forming for the Indians in their bullpen. And he was 46 when he retired, and when he got hurt, Kenny, he was 13-3.
Wow. I knew we were having a tough night.
Popped up. Long run for Chu. He makes the play, and Posada plays it halfway. The throw was so strong that it almost hit Cervelli at first base. Chu really showing off his arm.
This is a tough read for Jorge, but when you see that a guy is probably going to have to leave his feet, well, you try to get back as quick as you can to tag, but I mean, his throws are something.
Boom, right there.
I think Jorge made the right decision. What do you think?
I see if you can see Cervelli almost get pegged here. Whoa.
Came up and in on him.
First it was Carmona on one inside, now it's Chu.
Here's Jeter.
Years ago, the Indians had an outfielder, Rocky Colavito, had a strong arm like that. In fact, I believe they let him pitch one time.
I'll tell you what, you can tell the outfitters that don't have that arc in the ball. It's just on a line when they throw it.
I can't recall the circumstances under which they let Rocky pitch, but I think he did pretty well, if I remember correctly.
Well, they let Paul O'Neill pitch, and he hurt his arm.
Yeah, he did.
2 innings, right?
Yeah,
it was the second inning.
Second inning. It took its toll.
I understand that Rocky got the win again.
Yeah, a lot of those guys that come in to pitch, you know, are throwing knuckleballs and curveballs. If he came in throwing strikes and throwing hard, it's a different scenario.
Hot shot to short as Jubal Cabrera and gets Jeter for the final out. But the Yankees get a run on 3 hits and 2 men left. Jorge Posada on figurine night picks up 2 hits. Not a bad way. Quiz as we go to the top of the fourth, as Drupal Cabrera leads American League shortstops in hits, home runs, and RBIs. Who's the last American League shortstop to finish a season leading in those categories?
Easy, isn't it?
Oh, really? Did you read the notes today?
No, but I got a good guess at it.
Really?
Hits, home runs, and runs batted in.
I don't think you have it, Paul. Yeah, you probably.
Let's put it this way. Cabrera's having himself a pretty good season.
Yeah.
And plus, man, he is defensively, he's been awesome. Yeah, here's the Home Depot's hitter scout report. It's on Drupal Cabrera. He's the top hitting shortstop who we mentioned in the categories. Spectacular on defense. He's made some awesome plays this year defensively. And Soloac, I'll get to that after this pitch. Soloac, he's the only major leaguer ever named us Drupal.
I believe that.
I was just going to say, that's not a shocker to me. You talked about it. I mean, he's been on highlight films for his defense. I mean, talk about offense, and Robbie Cano gets in that sometimes where you forget how good their defense is.
I saw him make a play the other day. I forgot where they were, but he went deep in a hole and threw across his body and threw a rope over first base and threw somebody out.
Ground ball to Teixeira. Flips to Nova and goes one away.
Now, we talked about his offense. Well, let's see some of the defense. This is one of the most athletic plays I've seen on a baseball field. I mean, that is an unbelievable play.
Oh, my goodness.
Just his reaction. I mean, he was going up the middle, bare hand, flipped it, and it's not like he was a foot from second base. Look at him. Didn't surprise him.
And you score that 1-6-4-3 for the double play.
These are the plays you make on a baseball field that people that are in the game just kind of marvel at, because it's nothing you can go out and practice. You know, it's a reaction in his athletic ability that just made that play.
It's kind of reminded fans in Cleveland about Omar Vizquel, but with a better hitter.
Yeah, Omar every once in a while I thought tried to barehand stuff just because he could, you know.
Did he ever barehand you?
Oh, I'm sure he did. Yeah, kind of read how slow you were going down the line and just wait, barehand and throw you out in the same move.
Michael, you were talking about Grady Sizemore's knee injuries and microfracture surgery and a bruised knee on the other knee.
Popped up.
Used to be a big stolen base guy. He's only had one steal attempt in 29 games.
It's time for the Toyota text poll. Tonight's question is Cleveland the most surprising team in baseball this year? The choices are 1 yes, 2 no. You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. Arizona Diamondbacks are pretty darn surprising.
Yeah, they are.
Hey, how about Oakland firing Bob Garrett? Now, that's got to be tough. That's Billy Bean's best friend. I mean, you have to be really struggling.
I didn't know that.
Oh, he was the best man at Billy Bean's wedding.
No,
yes.
really?
Oh, by the way, you're fired.
Well, there were kind of rumblings when we were on the West Coast that you know, several players on the team weren't happy with the manager and had voiced their displeasure to the press. And it didn't help things that they had lost. Well, they've lost 10 in a row.
But many around baseball felt that Bean's close relationship with Garrett would be able to smooth things over, and he would be. Also, Billy Bean's the only GM in baseball who owns part of the team. So if he wanted to keep him, he could keep him. But to quiet a lot of the rumblings, I know Fuentes, the relief pitcher, was very upset with Garrett.
There's no satisfied customer.
Did you ever fire your best friend, Paul?
I'm just thinking, how do you call the guy in? Probably think you're just going to say, hey, what's up?
Let's go to lunch.
Sorry, guys. You're sorry, buddy. You're gone.
Who's your best friend, Paul?
In life?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because you have best friends before you get into baseball, your high school friends, and then you get into baseball, and then you have friends from Cincinnati, Chris Sabo, Barry Larkin, guys like that. And then all of a sudden you come to New York and you meet Mattingly and Girardi and guys like that. So it's kind of staggered on, you know, where you are at times in your life.
Singleton, Kay, and meet us.
Well, that's now.
Right.
I was still in the past, and now I'm now.
Kenny, how about you?
That's easy. My wife's my best friend.
Nice.
You know, my wife's not listening tonight, so I did not have to say it. Your wife's tuned in, I can tell.
Maybe not. But still, it's true.
Chu grounds one fair. Grabbed there by Teixeira, and that will do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Leads American League shortstops in hits, home runs, and RBIs. Who's the last AL shortstop to finish the season leading those categories? The pitch to Granderson is low. Who is it, Paul?
Gotta be A-Rod, isn't it?
Well, let's see. Wow.
An easy one. Right? If I pull it off the top of my head like
what
that.
A season.
Yeah.
52 homers, 201 hits. How long was the season?
Yeah, that was a 182 game season.
Here's what I don't understand. Granderson hits a home run in the second inning, and then Teixeira gets plunked. Why wouldn't he throw at Granderson out? Didn't Granderson hit the home run?
I guess it's all on emotion, and you're just mad. And I mean, as a pitcher, you've got to learn to deal with that. You see that a lot in the minor leagues. Remember that, Kenny?
Yeah.
I mean, you see it all the time, and people do. There's fights, and people get hurt, and everything else.
It's not like it's going to be the last home run he ever gave up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not like he's had great stuff tonight. I mean, velocity-wise he has, but he's been all over the place, control-wise.
All right, here's Mark Teixeira. He got plunked his last time up after Granderson's home run. Bench is emptied, bullpen's emptied, and then Manny Acta and Joe Girardi emptied their spleen at each other, really going at it. Nose to nose. They didn't strike any blows, but they were both very, very angry.
A couple of years ago, we were in Arizona doing an interleague series, and Matt Williams was one of the coaches. Matt Williams is a big-time home run hitter with the Giants, and I believe it was the '94 season. He was leading the league when the strike came, and he was on pace maybe to break Roger Maris's record. Well, anyway, there was a game in Montreal where he got knocked down. Didn't get hit with the pitch, but I mean he got knocked down really good. Pitch was up and in. He got up, just pointed his bat at the pitcher, took the bat, pointed it at home plate, and the next pitch he hit over the bleachers in left center field. You know, one of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen. It had to be 430 feet. He hit the pitch. Very next pitch.
In my Cincinnati days, I used to remember the duo of Will Clark and Matt Williams. I mean, they did a lot of damage offensively.
And when I went to Arizona, I went up and talked to him about that, and I said that was one of the greatest comebacks I ever saw for him.
And Scherer down on strikes. He had 43 home runs at the time of the strike.
And that was in August, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. That one's inside.
Yeah, just remember who the pitcher was who threw at him. Ugev Urbina.
Of course.
He threw pretty hard.
Yeah, he did. It's kind of nasty at one time. Talking about him the other day when we were talking about some of the, Poppy flipping the bat, but some of the pitchers that, started doing it. He used to almost do the splits out there and scream and yell to end the game when he got a save. That goes one.
That one's hit deep to left center field. There it goes. See ya. One of the longest home runs you'll see. That made the bleachers in left center, just to the left of the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar. A long home run for A-Rod. Yankees lead 6-0.
Folks, you're going to see a signed StubHub. You're not going to see it much because you don't see too many home runs up in this area. That was an absolute bomb.
Whoa. When they ask a hitter, did you get all of it? He comes back to the bench and says, I didn't quite get it all.
No,
I don't know. I don't think he could say that after this one. Man, great swing, follow through. Center fielder Sizemore knew he didn't have a chance. Wow, that was terrible.
Robbie Thompson's even saying, wow.
Ground ball right side through for a base hit for Cano, who is 3 for 3.
His picture up on the video screen got a chance to smile at that one as it went by.
When that guy got that seat, he never thought he was getting the souvenirs.
This is a horrible seat. I got no chance. He probably doesn't even know. He probably just caught the longest home run in the new Yankee Stadium. What do you think, Michael?
I've never seen one longer than that. That's pretty amazing.
Guy on the phone.
Home run for Alex.
Oh my goodness. You can chop that up into 250 singles.
Now 625 home runs.
5 behind Ken Griffey Jr. Former teammates.
A-Rod also has 10 runs in his last 11 games, including tonight, and that includes 3 home runs.
When you look at that, now I can look back and think how that team never won a World Series. You had Randy Johnson, Edgar Martinez, Ken Griffey Jr., Alex Rodriguez. I mean, you had so much. Yeah, Jay Buhner, so much talent, and never got to the point of winning World Series.
Grounded to second. And they get Swisher, and that will do it. But the Yankees get a run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. The run on Alex Rodriguez's long home run into the bleachers in left center. With a backhand for that. don't miss a Yankee Stadium tradition on Sunday, June 12th. That's this Sunday when the Yankees take on the Indians. It's Bat Day, the granddaddy of them all. The first 10,000 guests, 14 and younger, receive a Mark Teixeira bat courtesy of Bank of America. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Here's Matt Laporta, and that one's foul back. You know what? They've solved the problem. You see the Acela scoreboard, 6-0 Yankees. Kenny, I'm sure you remember when you came to the stadium. Did you ever go to Bat Day as a kid?
I don't think I did, Michael. But I know it was a tradition.
It was a tradition, and what it was you'd actually get disappointed sometimes because every bat had a different name on it. You came in and you wanted a Bobby Mercer bat.
I wanted a Mickey Mantle bat back in the day.
Mickey Mantle, and one day I walked in. I wanted Mercer bat. Got Tom Tresh, who was a nice player, but he wasn't my idol. Bobby Mercer was my idol.
He was supposed to be the next Mickey Mantle.
That's right, and so was Bobby. That one's grounded up the middle and grabbed there by Jeter, but no play for Laporta. And one of the coolest things that when I started working with Bobby, it was Bat Day here, and he grabbed the bat and signed it here. You finally got one. It's Bobby Mercer.
That is cool.
But now they just got this year. It's just going to be Mark Teixeira, so there will be no disappointment. If you get a bat, you know it's a Mark Teixeira bat. And one of the really neat things about that day in the old days at the old stadium, I mean the really old stadium, is Bob Shepard would make an announcement somewhere in the middle of the game so they could take this picture of everybody holding up their bats. Please raise your bats carefully.
Without hitting anybody, yeah. They probably never had Bat Day when you played the Red Sox, did they?
No, no. A lot of Indian Bat Days. Indians, the Washington Senators back then. Cord Phelps still looking for his first major league hit. And there it is. Stopping at second is Laporta, and they'll get that ball for Cord Phelps. A base hit for him. So Derek, who's looking for 3,000 hits, tosses the baseball for number 1 to Cord Phelps. And that'll end up in the Indian dugout after they make the catch. Speaking of the Indians, let's take a look at the Indians team scouting report brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Don't anybody rush out for that. Wow, it's not like it's important.
They've been in first place or shared it since April the 7th. They've had 1 hit in their past 40 at-bats with runners in scoring. They're really struggling. 44 and 15. I'll explain that after the pitch to OC, Orlando Cabrera. 44 home runs they've hit at home. They've only hit 15 on the road.
Wow.
Isn't it interesting that you saw Phelps get his first hit? You got Cabrera coming up. His next hit will be number 2,000. So Phelps is gaining on him.
Phelps has a lot of family here, and his sister actually lives in New York. And one of the Indians broadcasters said, "What does she do for a living?" He goes, "You know, she's told me, I just don't know." He goes, "I know it's something with money."
There's a lot of things to do in New York, right?
The 0-2.
Cabrera's been one of those players that has been kind of like a magnet. Wherever he goes, they seem to win. I mean, he went to Cincinnati, they won. He was in Boston, they won. He went to Anaheim, they won. Minnesota. Just one of those players that helps teams win. All of a sudden, it's like he's with the Indians and they're in first place. It's kind of strange.
You know, we know that there have been 27 previous players with 3,000 hits. How many players do you think have 2,000 hits in their career? It's not as many as you think.
27, so there's 27 3,000. But do you count the 27 3,000 as 2,000?
Of course you do. Of course you do.
All right, so I'd say 70.
Oh.
No. There's more than that.
262?
You know what? I would think there would be more than that.
I would too. You know, all the years baseball has been played, there's only been 260. Well, he'll be the 262nd.
Not now.
Not now.
That one's on hold, folks.
Speaking of 2,000 hits, it's time for this moment in Yankee history, brought to you by Johnny Walker. June 10, 2004, Bernie Williams becomes the 7th Yankee all-time to reach 2,000 career hits. Demand greatness in every sip and every season. Johnny Walker, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees. I'll always remember as Bernie was approaching 2,000, Yankees were stretching behind the batting cage, and Jeter and Posada were prodding Bernie about, you got to stay healthy, you can still get 3,000, things like, and I don't think things like that mattered to Bernie.
He had like songs in his head at the time. He had to run in after BP and write another song or something. Bernie just played.
Popped up. Cervelli lost it, but no problem. It was in the seats. And this is what Bernie's 2,000 hit looked like. You know, Bernie really has become an accomplished musician. And my question, Paul, is everybody joked around about how Bernie was kind of like one off in his own world. If he was focused totally on baseball, could he have even been greater than he was?
No, I don't think that it affected him on the baseball field. It was just his personality. No, believe me, he was into the game when he played. It's just that, you know, the times that you're away from the field in the locker room and stuff, every once in a while you'd look over and it's just like, Bernie, you're really not there. Where are you? And, you know, you kind of joke about it, but it was his personality. But, you know, believe me, I saw Bernie cry after we lost in 97. So, you know, the game meant a lot to him. But it's just that when he was able to turn it off when he got off the field, which, you know, a lot of people aren't able to do that.
So you think when Bernie left the clubhouse, the game was out of his head?
Yeah.
When you left the clubhouse, all kidding aside, it stayed with you.
The only time I lost is when I fell asleep, and it was right back in my head when I was eating my corn pops the next day. It's just the way it was, you know.
See, that's curious to me. Corn pops. There's so many other ways to go. Why corn pops?
Well, usually pancakes, but I don't know. It just flew out there. I don't even know if I've ever eaten a corn pop, to say the truth.
The 3-1. There's a strike. Corn pop is a good cereal.
Well,
yeah.
You know, it's funny when as kids you know all that. I mean, now you're into all the health food and the granolas when you get to our age, Michael. You can't even eat the good stuff.
As I'm shoveling a piece of cake into my throat.
Thank goodness for Kenny and the Legends. You know, I'm really starting to like the Legends. Lantaras brought us cookies last night. They brought us a cake tonight for Kenny.
That's very nice of them. Thank you very much.
Well, the people,
everybody's really enjoying it. They're enjoying it.
I mean, what a piece of, what beautiful cake, a birthday cake. Legends Hospitality brought this cake up for Kenny.
You know, that cake was heavy too. I was trying to hold it so they could record that.
It means there's some good ingredients in it, you know.
You know, it gave me a good workout for my forearms.
I'll tell you what, with O'Neill here for 10 days, Kenny with all these cakes coming in, don't be blaming me if I blow it up.
Beatrice O'Neill works up there, and that's the important thing. She's the nicest woman I think I've ever met.
She's a sweetheart.
Not even related either, you know.
She could be. She's so nice. The 3-2, and that's a walk. So very quietly, as we're talking about cake, Ivan Nova has loaded the bases with one out here in the 5th inning. Yankees have a 6-0 lead.
You know, if you look at one thing Ivan Nova has not done well this year, it's pitch with runners in scoring position. And these are the times that, you know, especially in a 6-0 game, you give a run here or there, fine, but you got to keep the big inning away.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. So bases loaded with Indians. Nova looking for a ground ball to turn into a double play. Here's Michael Brantley. Pitch outside.
Now, Brantley's been somewhat of a pleasant surprise. You see the average, 293. And he's been hitting well out of the leadoff spot, over 300 since they put him there.
Grounded to first. There's one. And that's all they'll get is a run scored. I almost think that Teixeira had the out at home. Reported really a big guy. Not that he runs slow, but he's not lightning quick. They probably would have had the force at home.
One thing Teixeira does do, you know, it's easy for him just to run over the first and step on the bag. Instead, he keeps a runner out of scoring position by going to second base and getting the force there. And all the little solid things he does. This is a Gold Glove type play. Even though you don't get a double play, you keep another runner out of scoring position. Now he makes the catch, and immediately he's thinking, I got to keep this runner out of scoring position. Doesn't even look at first base.
And never looked at home.
I mean, those are the plays that you work on thousands of times in infield and batting practice when you're taking your ground balls, and you do things on instincts out here. I mean, immediately he knew if he was going to get a ground ball, he was going to try to turn two. When you're up 6-1, you don't make that play that you're not accustomed to doing by throwing home.
This guy's been hitting with runners in scoring position. I looked at his average. I thought it was a mistake. 442. We're a third of the way through June. That's how good a year Cabrera's having.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he's been awesome.
Not that time. Ground ball to Cano. They'll get the force, and that will do it. But the Indians do get on the board. 1 run, 3 hits, and 2 men left. We're halfway through. This is brought to you in part by McDonald's. I'm loving it. By BMW, the ultimate driving machine. And by Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the New York Yankees. Well, Manny Acta, the manager of the Indians, makes the call to the bullpen. Brought to you by AT&T. So Fausto Carmona's night is over after 4 innings, and now they turn it over to Frank Herman. High ERA, 21 hits in 14 innings. Now strikeout per inning. And here's Jorge Posada, 2 for 2. He has his average at 213. And there's a strike. On the Acela scoreboard, 6-1. Posada has 82 career 3-hit games. His last one was this Tuesday against the Red Sox. 1-2.
Times you'll see that ball go in the dirt and you ask that umpire to check it. Georgie just threw that thing in the dugout. He didn't want any part of that one.
Nowadays they get rid of every ball that's in the dirt.
Almost every single time. Yep.
And another base hit for Posada. He's going to go for 2. He's not going to make it. He is out trying to stretch it into a double.
Kevin Long, you just enjoying to see Jorge swing the bat like he is now. It looks so much more comfortable up there. A piece of hitting ball away, laces it down the left field line. The problem is there's that ricochet every once in a while. And, you know, the 6-run lead, sometimes you take a chance, but what do you think, Ken?
I'm stopping at first.
Enjoying your single.
I'm talking to Mick Keller right now. But you're right. If you're up, take a chance.
You know, that play looks bad because of the throw. I mean, the throw is right on the money. And, you know, if the throw's off target, you've got a chance.
It's the way that the ball caromed. I mean, it almost caromed directly to Brantley. And I think that makes you take a big turn at first, but you see the ball get to him, then turn around, come back to first.
It was funny, Michael. As remember, we were talking last night, and that's the ball that we had last night that Swisher thought was going to carry him to him, and then ended up going down in the corner for a triple. It really has changed that in.
Ball goes one way, back goes another, and the ball lands in the stands. So did the bat.
Jed Lowry hit that ball down the line last night. Swisher went over, and this is a 2-0 game, and you're looking for that Karam as a right fielder. The ball ended up all the way in the corner for a triple.
Here's no look at it. There's the foul ball going one way and the bat going the other, and Gardner hoping that everybody's okay to his right.
There's a lot of things. Wow, the cameraman almost took that. A lot of things you understand about hitting if you've hit, but I don't understand that. Did you ever used to throw the bat?
Not very often.
I don't ever remember letting go of that and throwing.
Only on a changeup. Sometimes you're well out in front. Yeah.
Wow, I was going to check the color on my monitor when I saw those little guy's hair.
Now the cameraman had almost hit his Tad. He's had suffered many blows to the head throughout his life.
Put a helmet on that guy.
Now we're going to check out the young man, see if he's okay. There's a ground ball up the middle, grabbed by Cabrera, but they can't get Gardner. It's just too fast.
We talked about Brett Gardner kind of struggling a little bit, and these are the things with his speed. If he can put the ball in play, make the infielders move, you see it just a little bobble, even with that arm strength, safe at first base.
Let's take a look with the Coors Light freeze cam. Little bobble there might have helped out Gardner a bit. Freeze it, and you can see he's clearly there before Laporta catches the ball.
I like the way Gardner called the play himself when he crossed the back.
If I had this freeze cam, I could be an umpire very easily, wouldn't you? Huh?
I'm sure you'd be very happy. Gardner goes. The throw to second. Not in time.
Not even close.
Yeah, I think Brett Gardner, I mean, this is what you want to see. You want to see him get on base, and you want to see that just dare that catcher to be able to throw you out.
High leg kick by the pitcher.
No high throw. You see Cabrera has no chance to get a tag down.
Right now he's thinking, I'm just going to give this back to the pitcher.
Now you see on the right sleeve of the Indians there's a patch of a pitcher in a windup, a very famous windup on the number 19. That's for Bob Feller, Hall of Famer who passed away last December 15th. At the age of 92, Rapid Robert Bullet Bob from Van Meter, Iowa. And it was so unbelievable because into his 90s, you go to Progressive Field and Bob Feller would be sitting there and you talk to anybody. We had him on center stage and he was great. He was a war hero. Just tremendous and a joy to be around. You know, he could be very opinionated, but he had all the stories. He lived all of the stories as well in an illustrious career. But one of the best stories ever, our very own Jack Curry, when he was working for the Times, was sent to interview and do a story on Bob Feller. Sent to Cleveland, spent the day with him, interviewed him, and then said thank you. Jack could correct me if I get the story wrong. And he said, well, where are you going now, Jack? He goes, I'm going to go to the airport. He goes, how are you going? You have a car? He goes, no, I'm going to take a cab. Nope, I insist. I'm driving. No, sir. I insist. You're my guest. So Jack goes downstairs. He has a blue Jaguar. He's 89, 90 years old. And Jack gets in the car, and Bob Feller is Rapid Robert in the car, too. And he got him to the airport.
Kenny, we got to will a few hits with Jeet tonight to keep him on this roll. So we try it. We're talking about how nice it would be to get that 3,000 hit at home before he takes off on the road.
And he's had 14 hits his last 12 games. And a 5-game hitting streak. And Bob Feller was like the Nolan Ryan of his time.
Warner goes to third. No one was covered. Now, baseball's a funny game. You wonder, do the Indians get their nose out of joint while they stealing at 6-1, which is silly in this day and age of baseball?
You know, I think they would be even more forgiving if there was one out, but there was 2 outs when he went. Now, the third baseman, Hanahan, is way back, and he doesn't even bother to cover the bag.
All right, now you tell me he didn't cover the bag. Why isn't that defensive indifference?
That's a good point.
Because they were kind of semi-hold them on. The pitcher was in a stretch at second. Usually defensive indifference is when the first baseman gets behind the runner and said, go ahead. He didn't even have to slide. I mean,
ground ball to second. So Jeter was 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. 5 full. Yankees lead this one 6-1 on Yes. edition of Yankees on Deck presented by Blimpie. The Tampa Bay Lightning hockey team trades in their skates for cleats and hangs out with Phil Hughes at Steinbrenner Field. Plus, training tips for Mark Teixeira. Yankees on Deck, all news Sunday at noon only on Yes. I got a tremendous training tip today from Ray Lewis interviewing him.
I bet you did.
When he was a kid, you know, his dad had left the family, and you know, the mom would say, "Your dad's picking you up," and you know, when the dad wouldn't show up and Ray would be disappointed, he'd go up to his room, lock the door, and he'd have a deck of cards, and he would turn over each card.
Push-ups.
And he'd do push-ups for one time through. Like if it was a 9, it would be 9 push-ups. If it was a king, and then the other time would be sit-ups. And then as he got older, he'd have 2 decks of cards, and including jokers. And when jokers came up, it was 50 sit-ups.
I was going to say, you'd start to hate face cards, wouldn't you?
Yes. Not like blackjack. You'd be rooting against it.
I've heard of that game.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
It worked for him, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did.
I saw a show on him not too long ago where he was training, you know, people in Baltimore, and inspirational story.
Yeah, Michael was right. He's turned into an iconic figure down in Baltimore. And each Thanksgiving, he gives out turkeys to needy families, and you know, all pays for it himself. Truckload of turkeys, takes them downtown, hands them out to the folks. Did he talk about that, Michael?
He talked about that, and he also talked very openly about the situation happened in Atlanta at the Super Bowl when he was actually arrested for double murder, and then that charge was dropped, and he ended up leading to a misdemeanor, and you know, that really soiled his reputation. He has not been a saint his whole life, for sure, but he's doing a lot of charitable things right now, trying to make up for it. So that'll be a center stage coming up shortly. The 1-2 swing and a miss. Sizemore down on strikes. He is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Nova looks pretty good today.
Yeah. He does. He has his curveball, and you know, he's been able to throw strikes to get ahead. And when he has a good curveball, it's a completely different pitcher. Always nice to pitch with a big lead, and you see, if you're Joe Girardi, Larry Rothschild, you love to see a guy that just takes that lead and just starts throwing strikes and going at people.
You know, we talked about Chute having an off year. The Indians were looking more offensively from Carlos Santana. I mean, he's been their 4th hitter. That's pretty good.
High fly ball deep right center. Granderson back. See ya. Solo home run into the Yankee bullpen. What a blast. 7th home run of the year for Santana, and it's 6-2 Yankees.
Yeah, they were looking for more of that from Santana. We'd said that Nova had only allowed 4 home runs coming into tonight's game.
Rain?
Yep.
That one brought rain. Let's see where the pitch is. Target's low and away, and the pitch was up some. It was away. He went out and got it and dragged it into the Yankee bullpen, and it did bring rain.
And the fans retreating for some cover here at the stadium. And that's our radar.
That's not a very big cell that's going right over here.
I'm concerned if you got another long rain delay in you.
Let's not find out. All right.
Chu, ground ball to second. 2 away.
John Filippelli just left the booth. Said he's going down to the truck. He's already seen enough from it.
So he doesn't need you here.
I'm right in the middle of my big series here.
So 2 away, and that will bring up Laporta. Now, if you recognize the name Laporta, he was the big return that the Indians got when they traded CC Sabathia to the Milwaukee Brewers, and he's been a little bit of a disappointment because, Kenny, from everything that we heard about this guy, he was can't miss. He was going to be the big star, and Milwaukee gave him up in that deal because they were making a run for a playoff spot, and it worked for them because CC was almost unbeatable. But Laporta has not panned out the way the Indians thought.
Man, Laporta is supposed to be a number 4 hitter in their lineup for years to come. And You know, with Milwaukee, CeCe pitched on short rest several times. Got Michael Brantley as well in that deal.
Like the Carmelo Anthony trade, where you got one guy and then you got like 5 from the other team going out there.
High fly ball, deep right. Swisher back, and he makes the play as he steps onto the warning track for the final out of the 6th. But the Indians get a run closer, a home run by Carlos Santana. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 6-2 Yanks.
They're in the bottom of the 6th inning. He's had a home run in 3 trips. It was his 19th home run of the year. Solo shot in the 2nd inning. 19 homers.
Yeah, I mean, again, he came into the Boston series kind of slumping. Big home run off Josh Beckett yesterday in the 1st inning, and then again tonight. It's funny, we were just talking between innings, Kenny, you and I, about 1961, its 50-year anniversary, and last night he hit his 18th home run, and I think Roger Maris on that same day hit his 18th home run. So we were kind of joking, he's on pace to hit 61 this year.
Put Looper towards left center field. That's going to be in there at least for a base hit. The ball will skip by. No, Brantley comes up with it. Granderson, too much speed. He's in the 2nd with a 2-base hit. He leads off the 6th inning with a double. Having a great year.
He really is. I mean, he's driving the ball. When he gets the ball inside, he's hitting a home run. But this pitch is what's keeping him on it. I mean, driving the ball to left center field, that's what keeps you in there.
Nice play by Brantley there to keep this from being a triple. If he misses this,
you could tell the grass has got wet. You see the length of that slide.
The grass stain that Brantley has is the exact grass stain that Jorge Posada's bobblehead figurine has. Now, I'm told that Jorge's is dirt, but it looks greenish to me. We'll have to have a judgment. What is that, dirt or green?
I'm going with dirt.
You are?
I think I'm going dirtish, too.
Fine. I'll just leave.
Don't leave, man. I'll have to talk to him.
The 2-0. 3-0. That's dirt. I'm wrong.
That shows me something that you'd admit that, Michael.
Twice today. He was going on 3-0, but he could not hold up. That's a weird swing on 3-0.
Yeah, he probably had the green line. He's just thinking fastball. I get it. Oh, no, it's a little too high.
Not the one I'm really looking for. You know what he's thinking? 3-0 after he got hit in the middle of the back early in the game.
He's thinking upper tank. Upper deck.
Did you guys like to hit 3-0? Because we talked about Bobby Mercer earlier. He didn't. He said because he felt he could get the same pitch on 3-1.
It gave you, I didn't like it because it gave you the sense that if you didn't do anything with it, that you really failed.
Yeah, it was home run or nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hit a bullet to right field and it was a single, it was like you still failed, you know. And it's there's nothing worse than being in a great count 3-0 and grounding out. Time to look at tonight's Toyota Text Bowl. Once again, the question is: Cleveland the most surprising team in baseball this year? And here's how you voted.
Yes.
Pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close.
That is not exactly a very in-depth poll question. Are they surprising? Yes, no.
Well, only 42% of the people from Arizona voted.
I guess.
Listening to us tonight. Huh?
Here's A-Rod. His home run just came down from the fourth inning.
Well, you'd be surprised at the number of people that are watching. I was just on the West Coast.
Right.
People out there, kids run home from school, watch the game at 4 o'clock.
Well, I tell people all the time, the first thing, I mean, I knew coming over here the tradition, playing with the Yankees.
Ooh, just missed.
Fly ball center field. Sizemore puts it away.
That I didn't realize how many people around the country are Yankee fans. I didn't care if you were in Anaheim, Kansas City. It did not matter. There were Yankee fans there. It was almost a borderline home game wherever you go.
Boy, Alex uncharacteristically showing disgust there because, as you said, Ken, he just missed that.
Just missed it. That would have gone further than the previous one. Now watch the swing. It's a pretty good. He makes a pretty good pass at it, but he just gets underneath it. Those are frustrating.
Yeah, kind of a hanging breaking ball. Those are the ones as a hitter, you know, it puts you out front to drive it out of the ballpark just because of the speed change, and when it doesn't break, the ones you're used to hitting.
Alex was a little concerned today when I spoke to him about his favorite basketball team, the Miami Heat.
Oh, really?
He lives on the same block as Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. And, you know, I was thinking about this. He's probably best suited to talk with LeBron James because I think LeBron James is going through everything that this guy went through. All the expectations and no championship and not coming through. And then Alex finally did, and LeBron's still trying.
I mean, I think you're setting up a Game 7. I think that it's been a great series, and you know, to go home and have a couple days to. It's amazing to me. I don't care what sport it is, baseball, basketball, football. It seems like the team that's playing for their life seems to play, you know, a little bit harder, and that's what wins. And then when you get to a Game 7, it's like the best team wins.
Pretty neat if you think about it. The last game you ever played was a Game 7. I mean, you don't get better than that.
No.
I mean, obviously it would have gotten better if you won.
But you know what I remember about that is all the, you know, all the thoughts going through your mind. But then getting the lead, I was going to take my bats back up into the locker room, and I heard Mr. Steinbrenner's voice, and I went in there, and they were building the stage in the locker room to, you know, for the acceptance of the trophy and everything. And he was upset, saying, "You're jinxing us, you're jinxing." And before you knew it, they were taking it down. So that's the last memory I have of that Arizona locker room.
I remember working that locker room afterward and how what Cecil Mariano was and just answered the same questions over and over. But throughout the entire post-game time in the clubhouse, George Steinbrenner stood there with his arms tightly crossed, just staring into the middle of the room. He was very upset. This was after having won 3 championships in a row. And 4 or 5. Rain starting to come down a little bit harder here at the stadium.
Yeah, Game 7 losses are no fun. That was in one too.
You're just too close. You know, it's.
Runners go. Swung and a miss. Throw to third. It goes into left field. Granderson will scoot home with the Yankees' 7th run.
I'll tell you what, Mike, this has been amazing with the problem the catcher in this homestand have had throwing to bases, and it's been, you know, runs scored, extra bases.
Stolen base, E2. Give Teixeira a stolen base as well, his second. He was on the back end of the double steal.
Yankees running a lot tonight. And here is Nick Swisher.
Watch third base coach Robbie Thompson. He's trying to get the Granderson's attention. He does. Keep it going. Granderson scores the 2nd run of the night.
Coming into action tonight, Carlos Santana only successful 22% of the time throwing out base stealers. Nick tonight with a sac fly in the 1st. He lined out sharply the 2nd and the 3rd, and then grounded the 2nd and the 4th.
We talked about it. I'm just looking up at the scoreboard, Michael. We talked about it last night that you had an ETA for the Red Sox getting into Toronto. When at like 4:35 in the morning, you look up and they're off to a 4-1 lead in the 7th. Sleep's overrated, right, Michael?
Today it is.
What do you say? You sleep in November.
See, that's interesting. People that shave their head are less apt to worry about getting wet. You know,
yeah, they're not going to get anything mixed
I mean,
up.
what's the big deal?
Unless your eyebrows get, you know, messed up, you're fine, right?
This guy's dancing through the rain. The 2-2. Yankees lead. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning here at the stadium. First game of a 4-game set. And this is where it starts. It's all fun and games.
That's it.
And Nick Swisher works a walk. Now, when it's raining this hard as Manny Acta will come out, and they're not bringing the tarp on, then the umpires have been told that this is going to blow through. Because they have constant communication with that man, Danny Cunningham. And Danny's going to give an update to Dale Scott, the home plate umpire.
We can play through this, Danny. I'm telling you right now, we can play through this. What do you think, Michael?
I agree with you. So Manny Acta is going to go to the bullpen as Danny Cunningham talks things over with Dale Scott. So Acta will call on one of his relievers. Yankees have runners on 1st and 2nd. 1 run already in. They lead 7-2. All-Star Game in Phoenix. Help send your favorite New York Yankees to this year's All-Star Game by voting up to 25 times at Yankees.com. Cast your ballot now for your 2011 All-Stars. Vote early and vote often, like they used to do in Chicago. Vote today at Yankees.com. I mean, in the general election, not the All-Star election. It is really coming down here at the stadium. New pitcher is Chad Durbin. And he's very worried about his field. Here's Posada with 3 hits. Second time on this homestand. He's had 3 hits in the game. Yankees lead 7-2, looking for more. First and second, 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. 7-11 and 0 Yanks.
Did you just see that?
What was that?
Jorge's got like a little towel he pulled out of his, like under his belt to wipe his helmet off. I've never seen that.
That's a veteran move.
Yeah. Guys carry handkerchiefs. I guess Georgie's got a handkerchief where he can dry off the. That was impressive. Impressive with no batting, Joe. And Danny Cunningham was right. The rain ceased a little bit.
The 1-2. Outside. Posada, RBI single right center in the first. Single to center in the third. And a single left in the fifth. There's a little towel.
I like that. That's the first time I've ever seen that.
Well, hitters hate to have that little rivulet of water coming down off the bill of the cat or the helmet. It's getting in your line of vision. The 2-2.
Talk about line of your vision. Kenny, did you ever get up there and you'd go through like a week of the season where you'd get a little twitch in your eye? And you're staring at the pitcher and you're trying to concentrate and your eye would start twitching. It would absolutely drive you crazy.
I can't remember that.
Yeah, and I used to talk to other players. A couple guys had the same thing, and it goes away, obviously, but it would drive you crazy during the at-bats.
Well, you're not supposed to be up there blinking, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Swing and a miss. All these years, the umpires thought Paul was winking at him. Anyway, Yankees score a run, and they leave 2. Let's go to the 7th. Yankees up 7-2. by Blimpie, America's Sub Shop. By Infinity, only from Comcast. Call 1-800-XFINITY to learn more. And by the New York Lottery. When you scratch the lottery's instant games, good things happen in an instant. So be ready. Well, the rain has pretty much subsided. Grounds crew took care of the infield and the mound, and we're ready to roll here in the top of the 7th inning.
Nova's longest outing this year was a win against the Texas Rangers back on May the 6th. He went 7 1/3 innings. That was his longest career outing. Tonight he's going into the 7th.
Cadillac scoreboard 7-2. Yankees over the Indians. Yankees with 11 hits. Indians with 4. Throwing error for Carlos Santana. And for the Indians, Cord Phelps, who picked up his first big league hit, a single through the right side in the 5th inning. He comes to the plate.
You said in your pregame, Kenny, that Nova had been struggling a little bit on the West Coast, and a good matchup because the Indian hitters have been struggling. Just a good game for him to come out, get some confidence back, and you try to string together, 3 or 4 good consecutive starts.
Break on that one.
It's a little high variety strike there, but he has had his good curveball tonight, been able to throw for strikes. No doubt that when he has his good curveball, he's a much better pitcher.
Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did.
That's an ugly at bat right there. You know that? Strike one, and then you get a borderline high strike, and then you swing a check swing, and you get run up at the third base.
Yeah. Well, this is when Nova started to work him over. He tried to see if he would chase this pitch, and he did. It's a good pitch by Nova. So why not bounce a curveball? We see David Cone used to do that all the time.
All the time.
Bounce a curve, see if a hitter would react to it, and kind of get himself out on a pitch he couldn't possibly hit.
Ground ball, and Orlando Cabrera is out, still looking for his 2,000th hit. Did you see the tag there by Cervelli on Phelps? Might have been the softest tag in the history of Major League Baseball. It was unbelievable. I never seen. I mean, it wouldn't have broken a little glass of china. What's this?
He doesn't want to hurt his feelings. He's been in the big leagues 2 days.
The pinky was out.
It was like a circle change.
Yes. Pitch to Hanahan is high. (7-2) Yankees lead, trying to snap a 3-game losing streak.
Nova's got a pretty good pace going, doesn't he? He's ready to go. Look.
Really had good control of that outside corner tonight, and mix that in with a good curveball that he can throw at the left-hander's feet.
There it is.
Saw Boone Logan warming up for the Yankees.
Now, is this the bounce curveball again? Same formula?
Well, you know what? It worked once. You might as well try it again. That, or you throw that fastball out of the zone. He's going back to the curveball in the dirt.
More experienced hitter up there this time in Hanahan.
The 2-2. 3-2. Just missed as Hanahan walks. So Hanahan's been on base all 3 times, a double and 2 walks.
Sorry, Larry, that was Kenny and I's fault. Just praising him on how he controlled why he was today. And he ball 4 right there.
94 pitches for Nova. He'll face Brantley. And a strike.
Yeah, Nova actually started this game out very well. The first 12 batters he faced, only one of them got on base. And that kind of set the tone for the rest of the game. Now he's gone through the lineup a few times now, and he's gotten himself a few hits. But he still really hasn't been in what I'd call a major jam. As the game is going, that's a good pitch. Wow. That looked pretty good.
Funny, that's really the first fastball that he's thrown inside. He's been throwing everything outside. Kind of caught the umpire by surprise. And this ball's going to run back. See if it gets to the corner. Very close.
Yeah, not quite. Always thought Dale Scott was a good ball strike umpire.
You know, I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Did you just look up at the sky? Did you just see a pig fly?
Yeah.
O'Neill thought an umpire did a good job.
I thought he was one of the better balls and strike umpires.
Wow.
That doesn't mean I didn't disagree with him a couple times.
I like the way he calls strikes too, because they look dance down. Every umpire has their own way of doing it, and I think after a while you got to pick out your favorites. And I like Jim Joyce because he's so loud, and I like Dale Scott because he has his unique signature move that he has when he calls a strike.
Swing and a miss. And Nova strikes out Brantley. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left. At the end of 6.5, time for the 7th inning stretch here at Yankee Stadium. Yankees lead the Indians 7-2, but we're going to stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
And offer a moment of silent prayer. Thank you. Now joining Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
To
Yankees in-game box score brought to you by McDonald's. 2 hits for Granderson, a home run and a double, 2 runs scored. Robinson Cano 3 for 4. So is Jorge Posada. Brett Gardner's picked up 2 hits as well. Derek Jeter still at 2,990 as the countdown to 3,000 has stalled over his first 4 plate appearances tonight, but he has walked and scored a run. Brett Gardner takes a strike.
Gardner's had himself a nice night with a double, a single, a couple of stolen bases.
Cadillac scoreboard has the Yankees up 7-2. Ground ball to second. Orlando Cabrera makes the play.
Every time Gardner comes to the play, the infielders have to be on point. You know, the ball comes to them, they know they got to field it cleanly. There's no bobbles, and you got to throw it quickly to first base.
So Orlando Cabrera, he was throwing that thing in a hurry. I mean, he's a natural shortstop, so he's used to getting rid of it quick too.
Here is Cervelli. He's 0 for 3. Pitch outside. Crowd of 45,679 here in the Bronx.
It's really supposed to cool off this weekend, right? For a couple day baseball games for us.
That's what they're saying. That's what this rain's supposed to bring.
Right.
But they said that yesterday. It was pretty steamy today.
I'll tell you what, it was hot today, but it wasn't anything like it was the first couple games in that Red Sox series.
Count 2-2 to Cervelli. On deck for the Yankees, Derek Jeter 0 for 3 with a walk and a stolen base and a run scored. There's a base hit to right field. So Cervelli with a 1-out single. Joe Girardi talks about Derek Jeter's quest for 3,000. He can't believe how hard it is.
I can't imagine what it's like to get 3,000 hits, but I'm sure if I was at 2990, it'd be on my mind. But sometimes things just have a way of working out where it looks like it's on your mind, it's really not, or it's on your mind and it looks like it's not. I don't think he's ever going to let us know.
Well, he's 10 hits away. Is it on his mind, Paul? You know him.
Well, I think that there's no way around it when the media is talking about it every day, and now that you have this incentive to try to get it done while at home, I think that it has become on his mind now. If he was on the road, and probably not as much. I mean, it's going to be accomplished, you know, throughout the year, but you'd like to when you start putting time frames on things in baseball is when you start pressing to do things.
And there's a base hit. 9 away from 3,000 as Jeter will motor to second with a double. 2,991 hit for Derek Jeter.
Yeah, I think it has to be on his mind. I mean, he's just trying to do what he's always done.
Right.
They get to this point, and now just 9 away. I heard you guys talking the other night that Sam Rice was not aware of how many hits he had.
Yep.
And in this day and age, that could not happen. It just could not happen because, you know, the communications and all that sort of thing. He would know he had to stick around for 15 more hits.
And I wonder if when Sam Rice played, if 3,000 was such a big deal, because I always remember something that Mickey Mantle said. If I knew 40-40 was such a big deal, I would have done it.
I always remember what Mickey Mantle said about Pete Rose. He said if I'd have hit that many singles, I'd have wore a dress. That's hilarious. But you know, looking back, it kind of on what you were talking about, Kenny, about he's just doing what he does, and that's get base hits. And you look back at Alex Rodriguez, you know, 500 and 600 home runs. That, to me, you know, you have to do something other than an at-bat. You have to hit a home run. I mean, Derek's just got to go up, have good at-bats, get base hits. I think the home runs, when you get one away, are much harder to think about, because you can't go to the plate and make a pitcher throw you a home run pitch. You can go to the plate and have a good at bat and slap on the right field like Derek has done and just did.
Bases loaded. Here's Teixeira. Teixeira, very little contact except when he was hit. Struck out, 2 walks and a hit batter. So 0 for 1. But he's been on base 3 times.
I think the one thing about, I don't know if you agree with me, Paul, one thing about guys who hit a lot of home runs like A-Rod and all the great home run hitters is that they have the ability to turn pitches that aren't all that bad into home runs.
Right, their swing, obviously they adapt and they have a slight uppercut and they drive the ball where
other guys might get that pitch and get a base hit or maybe a double, but they can turn it into a homer.
Talk about a weird stat. I'm just looking over here. Mark Teixeira has not hit a double. Look at this.
He has now. And it looks like he's going to clear the bases. He gets his first double since May 8th, and it's a 3-run double as the Yankees lead 10-2.
29 games. Just going to tell you before he hit that. So, see, we don't always jinx people. We help people up here too, Ken.
You should have been talking when I was hitting way back when. You, of course, have been baby talk.
I don't know what I'm going to say it to. See that ball up in the zone. Mark Teixeira turns on it. Nothing better than what happened earlier in the game to throw a little salt into the wound, a little 3-run double. You just joined us earlier in the game. I'm talking about Anderson hit a long home run, and the next pitch hit Mark Teixeira right in the middle of the bat.
There's Alex Rodriguez, who hit one of the longest home runs we've seen here at the stadium, into the bleachers just to the left of the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar. That one is laced into right center. It's going to be there for a base hit. Sizemore dives, but it gets by him. Teixeira will score. Alex Rodriguez lopes into second with an RBI double. And the Yankees now lead 11-2.
You know, it's really a good bounce back for the New York offense, because you know, all you heard all day, and it's funny when you start talking to fans, you see Alex driving that ball. Wants that ball to drop, kind of steer it away from Sizemore out in center field. But you know, all you can do as a team when you go through a tough series where you just got swept is turn the page, go out, have a good night. And offensively, they've really done that tonight. Carmona got them off to a good start, but no control whatsoever. But they're also throwing some good at-bats in there in between.
Now you figure you're waiting for that next team to come into town because it's time for somebody to pay. Yeah?
Somebody's got to get beat up, right? Talk about, you know, is Cleveland for real? Well, you know, they come in here for 4 and then they go to Detroit for 3. You know, this is a tough time in their series because people are starting to notice where they are now.
Well, Eduardo Nunez pinch runs for A-Rod, who has the rest of the night off.
Quick turnaround. Day game tomorrow.
Count 2-0.
Only one Yankee
starts. You, Michael, don't you like the day game? Your night game.
I like every time they play a game. Yep.
Mid-afternoon, day,
doesn't matter to me. Whatever time, it's a baseball
How about you,
game.
Kenny?
You know, when I was a rookie, I wondered why the veterans didn't like day games after night game. When I became a veteran, I realized why they didn't like them.
For some reason, that ball just looks a little brighter at night. I just love night games.
I did like playing at night, especially in the summer. It was a little cooler.
And Cano walks. Well, what's happening here is if the Yankees can get a couple more runners on, that would ensure that Jeter would get another at-bat in the 8th inning. The way it goes right now, the Yankees are leading 11-2. Doesn't seem like there's going to be a bottom of the 9th.
Only one hitter without a hit tonight.
Nick Swisher.
Could be the last man to the party.
That is so bad when you feel like you're that guy. I remember a game we scored 21 runs once against the Indians, and Joe Torre pulled me out in like the 5th. He said, I was the only guy out there that hadn't scored a run, hit a home run, got to hit anything.
Anything.
I don't even know if I fouled a ball off. Everybody else is it's like a circus for them. They're just running around the base. Is this one of those days?
Indians started the season 30-15. If they lose tonight, since the 30-15 start, they'll be 4-12. Now, one thing that Manny Acta is trying to drive home to his team: stop thinking that the 30-15 was a fluke, because we are a good team. You can't fake it for 2 months of the season. You wouldn't be in first place if you didn't deserve to be in first place. But he's got to sell that to a young team.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, you can't start worrying about trying to hold on to a lead in mid-June. It's there's so many games, and that's the one thing that young players don't understand is how long the season is and how many things can change. And even after you go through this, what you just say 4-12, if they lose tonight, I mean, you can turn around and throw another streak together. But the problem is, with their team now is the injuries. Because Sizemore is not his true self. And you got to get Hafner back in the lineup driving in runs.
Paul, you were mentioning that game that Joe Torre took you out, so I'm trying to go back in my mental Rolodex.
Did it take a while?
Yeah, it did. And I came up, I think the date was July 24th, 1999. Yankees beat these very same Indians 21-1. Yankees pounded out 21 hits. You were 0 for 3 with a walk. Louis Soho pinch hit and even got a hit.
See that? I told you I wasn't lying.
I just remember that.
Yeah, you did. 21.
Chili Davis was 5 for 6 with 6 ribbies.
I was in the weight room by the 6th inning torturing myself because I was the only guy in the world that you could have brought people out of the upper deck to get hits.
Did you score a run at least?
I could throw a run. I don't think I did anything. I walked and they took me out. That was my last chance, I think.
And they took you out and they put in Ricky Leday and he went 2 for 2 with 2 ribbies in your place.
Just keep it coming, Michael.
Wow, this guy looks just like he's a lookalike of our president, Barack Obama. Wow, and everybody's taking this picture in the stands. You know what? If you're going to look like somebody, it's not bad to look like the president. This is brought to you in part by J&R Music and Computer World, and by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. Bases loaded for the Yankees, still just one out. And now Rafael Perez comes in. Good numbers. 2-1, 1.52. 18 hits in 23 and 2/3 innings, 13 strikeouts. And he's going to face Jorge Posada. Now, Posada, with the bases loaded in his career, is a .332 hitter with 9 grand slams.
You look at a guy that, you just look around the league at what the Yankees could use. Would this guy fit perfectly in what the Yankees would use? A left-hander that comes out, he's got great numbers, he's been durable, he's got great stuff.
Cleveland's not giving him up.
No. He's too good at what he does.
Yeah, they're in first place.
Well, this little rally means that Jeter will come up again. Either this inning or next inning for sure. Posada's the 7th batter in the lineup. Bases loaded, 1 out. Posada got his first 2 hits batting right-handed after an 0-for-27 start in the first game of the series against the Red Sox when he came in off the bench after Mark Teixeira got plunked just on the side of the right knee and had to leave the game in the first inning. Posada played first, and against John Lester picked up 2 hits. 3 hits overall in that game. Count 2-0.
The offense has been consistently clicking tonight. They've scored every inning but 1.
Top graphic, you got 3 pitches, you got a 3-0 count. That's not what you got in mind when you come out of the bullpen. But he started off with a changeup, thinking Georgie's going to try to jump on that first fastball, and now he's falling behind. 3-0, bases loaded.
Taking all the way. There's a strike. Since the last game in Anaheim, last 4 games, look at those numbers for Posada: 10-for-14, 7-14. And he has the average up to 217. Not insignificant, since for most of the season he's been on the interstate.
We talked about 299 to 300 earlier. Kenny, when you look up at that board and it starts with 1, you cannot wait to get off that interstate.
Yeah, hot streak.
Now the count 3-2.
What do you think, Kenny? Ball 4 or 3-run double? Give me an out.
I'd take a bloop single myself.
Posada down swinging. 2 outs.
Was ball 4.
Let's take a look at his last pitch. He went to the breaking ball. 3 went to the tricks. After 3-2 fastball, I thought the best pitch for Jorge was the 3-1 pitch that he took for strike 2.
You got to really trust that. You're 3-0. You get back in the count. You haven't thrown a breaking ball out of the pen yet. You get to 3-2. You full Jorge with your first breaking ball of the count.
11-2 Yankees lead, looking for more. Brett Gardner started the inning innocently enough with a ground ball to second. That was about 2 hours ago. A 1-0. 1-1.
Michael, it could still be raining.
It could. You mean from last night?
Yeah, basically we would have waited. Huh?
A 1-1. Slap foul.
Just thinking though, I mean, throughout this game, things we haven't seen yet. I mean, Alex Rodriguez hits a ball up in the StubHub section. Georgie pulls a towel out of his pants during the rain. I mean, there's a few things we've seen for the first time tonight.
That's why you got to watch each and every game. There's something you might see that you've never seen before.
Every inning. See, I didn't even know there was grass on the top of the StubHub sign. And you learn these things. See that?
A few golf balls stuck and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's tough rough. You got to open your blade there.
Oh my goodness.
A nice little golf lesson today. Bringing up the golf. Huh? When you're doing lessons, that means you're not hitting it real good, Kenny. You know that, right?
Popped up. Shallow left. Brantley makes the play, and that will do it. But the Yankees score 4 runs. Mark Teixeira got 3 of them with that double. By Verizon Fios. Get the ultimate in entertainment on the Ultimate Network. Fios, a network ahead. Mitch Talbot's going to go for the Indians, 2-2, 4.18. And Bartolo Colon will face his former team. Goes for the Yankees. He's 4-3, 3.39. It all starts at noon right here on Yes with the BP Show. 12:30 pregame show. Right around 1:07, we'll get the first pitch. Well, the newest Yankee called up today, Kevin Whalen, 25 games, 1.67 ERA, 30 strikeouts in 27 innings. And he was called up today, and Chris Dickerson was sent down. So the Yankees adding another arm to the bullpen. And he's probably a little pumped up right now.
I would say so.
Good job by Nova as he turns it over to Whalen.
On the Hyundai scoreboard, 11-2. Yankees lead. And Whalen deals a strike. What do we know about Whalen? Born in Texas in '84, drafted by the Tigers in the 4th round in '05, acquired by the Yankees in the Gary Sheffield trade back in '06.
Also pitched at Texas A&M for years.
You mentioned it's a little warm down there.
Oh, I went to a NCAA regional game there years back. College Station. It was about 105 degrees.
Talking about college baseball, Lee Mazzilli's son playing tomorrow against South Carolina. Talking to Lee the other day. Very excited. He's going down.
Nice play by Cano. And they get Cabrera.
One thing you notice about Cano, how he keeps the glove down as he's going to his right, keeps the glove low to the ground. Right there. It's easier to bring the glove up than to put it down. And he just throws on the run across the body. Probably doing that when he was 11 years old back in the Dominican Republic. Just I don't think there's a second baseman in the league makes this play as smoothly as he does.
And that's the thing. He makes it look so easy. You don't realize how hard it is and how strong his arm is to be able to throw from there, going away from the target all the time. Robbie, I'm going to praise you for your defense, but you're still not a 270 hitter. I don't care what anybody tells me.
Whalen's key is fastball location. We can say that about a lot of pitchers, but they want him to get ahead so that he can employ a splitter, which is his out pitch.
Looked like he was doing a lot of it as Grant Wilson. 30 strikeouts in 20-something innings.
He breaks that ball from his glove. Weird. I mean, it almost like it's going to show it to the hitter. You would think a guy that, you know, relies on his split finger has to keep that ball in his glove. Kind of separates it before he gets in his windup.
And he walks Grady Sizemore. This Sunday, catch a new WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper looks ahead to the Yankee series in his hometown Chicago, plus his memories of his first time visiting Wrigley Field as a fan and then stepping onto the field as a player. It's an all-new Joe Girardi Show Sunday at 5. It's only on Yes.
Yeah, again, as a split finger, you usually have to dig that ball in there. You see, he breaks those hands. You know, obviously, we have a little different view than the hitter.
Popped up. Nunez, who took over for A-Rod, will make the play. For the second out.
Saw Mark Teixeira there, and you see the nod by Whalen on the mound. Teixeira is informing the youngster that he's going to play behind Sizemore at first base. So don't be thrown over here. I'm not going to be there.
Here's Chu.
Especially with the left-handed hitter coming to the plate. Chu has been struggling. His last run batted in was May the 22nd.
Talking to a couple people with the Indians, and they say that Chu has really been shamed. He was picked up on DUI charges at the beginning of May, and he is such a god in Korea that he's lost face there, and that is a big part of that society, and he's just beside himself. It's just hard for him to get himself straightened out because he's so embarrassed about what he did. And you see the numbers over the last couple of years, just a top flight player trying to shake off the embarrassment of that DUI.
You know what's funny is, you know, if something happens in your life and you're a baseball player, that's all you know. So what do? You take it to work with you. You take it out on the field and you try to do more than you're capable of doing it, and it backfires on you. You know, I mean, what other way can you make it up as a baseball player? They go out and try to do great things out on the field, and next thing you know, you're slumping, and it just becomes a an issue.
Like a big weight on your shoulders. You can't get rid of it.
Talking to Tom Hamilton, longtime radio broadcaster for the Indians, he said Chu having a DUI in Korea is like almost the president here in the United States having a DUI. Wow. Pitches outside, so Chu ends up walking. Second walk issued by Whalen. Upstairs, and Whalen's probably
a little overamped.
Adrenaline rushed right now.
Yeah, I was looking at the Yankee bullpen. There's nobody warming up, and I was thinking maybe Joe Girardi lets him pitch to ninth as well. Maybe. But he's got to keep his pitch count down in this inning to do so.
Cirelli wants to calm him down. This is how Whalen became a Yankee. He came along with Anthony Claggett and Humberto Sanchez for Gary Sheffield. That's a long time in the minors.
Short or long, minor leagues aren't the place to be when you're trying to play baseball.
If I'm Cervelli, I just set up right in the middle of the plate. I think he did so on the last pitch. Just aim for the middle of my chest protector. Yeah, he's got the glove right in the middle.
Didn't hit it. So 3 walks by Whalen. Called up today. And at this point, not making a great first impression as Larry Rothschild wants to settle him down.
At this point, Cleveland's just trying to let him paint himself into a corner. They're not up there swinging. They're going to be taking pitches.
Larry almost in a conciliatory type of discussion, not barking at him at all, trying to calm him down. And Maurice Snead begins to throw. So here is Cord Phelps. He got his first big league hit today. Now I'm assuming Columbus plays Grant Wilkes-Barre, right?
Yeah.
AAA, so
internationally.
They probably faced each other. Count 2-0. I guess they tell you to take deep breaths now, but you might start hyperventilating.
It's so hard. I mean, hitting, you're grinding, you're squeezing the bat as a young player. Pitching, it just seems to go in fast motion. You just can't control things.
There's a strike. And he gets the crowd behind him.
At least we got a Yankee Stadium cheer, huh?
Count 3-1. And Whalen has no place to put Cord Phelps. And that one rides out of the zone, so 4 walks, forces home a run. And it's 11-3 Yankees. And now you have to debate if you're the Yankees. Do you yank the kid out and kind of hurt his confidence, or do you let him ride through? And then if he continues to walk people, it makes it worse.
Well, the captain went in. Derek Jeter tried to calm him down a bit. Just a reminder, one more out and you're out of this jam.
Here's Orlando Cabrera sitting at 1,999 hits, and Joe Girardi's thinking, you know what, it's better to take him out now than to let him get into any further trouble. So Amori Sinead is going to come in. The Yankees will gather around him on the mound, trying to make him feel a little bit better. Hey, standing on the mound at Yankee Stadium with Derek Jeter standing next to him, so probably a little bit of a heady trip. Joe Girardi says something that makes him smile a little bit, relieves some of the pressure. And he got 2 outs, but he walked 4, gave up a run. He will depart. Sinead will come in. Yankees holding on to an 11-3 lead at the top of the 8th. Coverage starts at noon with Audi batting practice today, followed by the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Kenny, Paul, and I will bring you the call from right here in the booth. Indians and the Yankees. It all starts tomorrow at noon. It's only on Yes. Get a chance to see Bart Colon again tomorrow.
Bartolo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you get a chance to see Amori Sinead. Was up for 3 games previously with the Yankees. 8 hits and 6 in the 3rd innings. And right now, with the injury to Jabba, the injury to Soriano, the injury to Feliciano, the injury to Marte, the Yankees are not close to the bullpen that they thought they were going to have in there. They're trying to piece it together and make moves and see who they can call up, see who's going to fit, who's going to do the job. But I think that the people that are out there right now are probably not going to be your New York Yankees bullpen in about a month.
There's an opportunity there, either for somebody, one of these youngsters, to come up and make a little noise, or they're going to do something.
Here's Orlando Cabrera. And there's a strike from Sinead. Cabrera is 0 for 3. Skied the other way. Long run for Swisher. Runs out of room.
I think one thing we've learned about Cabrera over the years, he is very quick on pitches inside. That is his happy zone, especially up and in.
Bases loaded, 2 outs.
Now, Michael, wasn't he the hitter that popped up to make the last out, David Cohn's perfect game? Wasn't it
I
him?
believe it was.
Yeah,
He was on the team.
he was with the Expos in those days. David was here earlier today.
I was here last night too.
Yeah.
Strike three. Orlando Cabrera punched out by Amori Sanit and Dale Scott. So the Indians get a run on no hits, 4 walks, bases left loaded. Derek Jeter's coming up at the bottom of the 8th. Stick around. Heavy fire of the game. Text your vote to 58772 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Tonight's candidates are number 1, Ivan Nova, number 2, Alex Rodriguez, number 3, Mark Teixeira, number 4, Curtis Granderson. Vote now and make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Well, Francisco Cervelli will lead off the bottom of the 8th inning. The end of the inning had Orlando Cabrera getting punched out. Looked a little bit outside, and he wanted to tell Dale Scott as much. So he has a little bit of a conversation with Dale Scott, then decides to become a street artist. He wants to draw a line in the sand and say exactly where the ball. Oh, he hit his toe and he's thrown out. You can't touch the umpire.
You can't draw the line. That's the thing. They have such a, I mean, it's automatic. Yeah. You know, the anger right there, I don't get it. All right, you're gone. See ya. Why does it have to be the screaming and yelling? What emotion does the umpire have? I mean, he's been called. It's 11-3 right now.
It's a long night.
Yeah.
Cervelli lines run to right field. Chu is right there, puts it away. And the new pitcher, Joe Smith, for the Indians. And that's going to bring up Derek Jeter. Derek got a hit in the 7th inning. So he's now 9 away from 3,000. And in a sport that's famous for not having a clock, the clock is ticking on Derek Jeter because he wants to get that 3,000th hit here in the Bronx. So after this game, he's going to have 6 more games to go before the Yankees head on the road. Hyundai scoreboard 11-3, Yankees over the Indians. Smith does not look like he'd be fun for a righty batter. Kind of comes by way of third base. Jeter walked, grounded to third, grounded to short, grounded to second, tried everybody. And then he doubled to right field. Scored 2 runs and has stolen a base.
He's got a 6-game hitting streak now.
Good numbers on Joe Smith. Soft ground ball to second base. 2 away. Adam Everett is the new second baseman. takes over for Orlando Cabrera, who's thrown out.
Now, Michael, you said that Smith and his delivery is difficult for a right-handed hitter, but it's that much easier for a left-hander to see him. And it gives you a nice long look with his arm action, and if you get something in the wrong spot, you can really deliver.
Granderson delivered in the second inning a solo home run. Then he doubled and scored in the 6th and walked and scored in the 7th. So he's 2 for 4.
He's now scored 51 runs. That leads the Yankees.
There's a ground ball to second base. Everett to Laporta, and that will do it. Yankees go down in order. Last licks coming up for the Indians. Top of the 9th. They trail 11-3. Game as Bob Lorenz brings you highlights and analysis from this game and the latest from the rest of the league. Plus Joe Girardi's press conference and Kimberly Jones with the reaction from the clubhouse. Also, Jack Curry is in the studio too. It's all coming up on the postgame only on Yes. Jack Hanahan will lead off the 9th inning. And the first pitch from Sunit is up and away. 11-3, Yankees over the Indians. Hanahan's reached base all 3 times, a double and 2 walks. And a strike.
Turn away from the monitor and all the sound effects are going on. It's like you're getting attacked by something. Got some cool stuff going on with the things that come up on the screen.
I guess I never thought of it that way.
Pretty cool.
We got cool stuff here.
That's right.
A lot of toys. Frank and Mary in the plans this weekend?
Frank and Mary will be out with us tomorrow, no doubt about it.
Nice. Kenny, any late birthday celebrations tonight?
He's got a day game tomorrow. Those days are over.
Swing and a miss. Hanahan down on strikes.
Years ago, maybe.
Alex just chilling. Long home run for him today. Also an RBI double.
Just staring out at that stub hub out there thinking, man, I hit one over that thing.
Last year you made a big deal of State Farmville, so StubHub land is big.
That's impressive. I didn't even think we had a camera angle that got up into StubHub.
If you missed it, Alex hit one of the longest home runs we've seen here in the 4th inning. Right over the StubHub sign, and that's in deep left center field, really just to the left of dead center.
Fans who sit out there don't even bring gloves to the ballpark. They don't think they're getting anything.
base hit up the middle for Brantley. Why don't we check out the Land Rover drive of the game? I wonder what it is.
You know what? Let me take this, Kenny, just because I've enjoyed this so long. Boom, we know it's gone. It's just a matter of how far. There it is. It's the Hub Club.
Impressive.
It's only got one member, I think, and that's A-Rod. Yeah, I think Nick Keller's telling him exactly where that thing went.
As Drupal Cabrera swings and misses. That's a lot of groundouts, a lot of dead worms.
I'll tell you one thing, though, in the next 4 days or next 3 days, now that this one's over, and Yankee fans really take a look at this guy at the plate, because he's one of the next superstars of the American League. Shortstop, can basically do everything on the field, offensively and defensively.
Switch hitter. He was hitting over 300 left-handed, 282 right-handed.
Came into the game hitting over 312 home runs, 40-some RBIs. We saw an earlier clip of some of his defense. It's just fun to see. Every once in a while you see a young player that catches your eyes. It just is, wow, this guy's really something.
Cleveland got him from Seattle for Eduardo Perez.
Eddie.
Yeah.
Now the batting coach for the Marlins.
Yeah, that's right.
He just took that job?
Yeah. Left ESPN.
I saw him on TV a couple weeks ago.
So 2 days ago.
Right out of the booth.
Yeah.
I think Tony still works with the.
Yeah, he does.
Right?
I wonder if he put a recommendation in for his son.
Good chance.
There's a base hit. Moving to second is Brantley. So Cabrera, as Drupal picks up a single. He's 1 for 5.
I'll tell you what, Kenny, you'll remember these days when you're 0 for 4 and all of a sudden you're up and you salvage the night. 0 for 5, Doug. You don't ever want to go home 0 for 5.
You know what's even better? You're 0 for 3 and you get 2 hits your last 2 times. Yeah, that's even better. 2 for 5. You're not even asking to drive in a run or something. You just got that second hit.
We talked about Grady Sizemore. I mean, he's been the poster child up there for the Cleveland Indians. Well liked in the community. He's had some injuries that have really held him back. I mean, he was a guy that looked like was going to be on the All-Star team year after year. Could do a lot of things out in the outfield and at the plate. Microfracture. I mean, you hear about that in basketball a lot. Dangerous injury. Heals, but it sometimes comes back. That's the thing that worries doctors. That's the.
Man, he used to be the leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
But now they've dropped him down the order because he's not running as much as he used to.
Those are the injuries that have knocked him out since 09.
Elbow surgery.
Left knee, right knee. There's a ground ball through for a base hit. Brantley will stop at third as Nick Swisher comes up throwing.
My point being, he's not stealing as many bases as he used to. And I don't think the Indians want him to. Want him to stay healthy.
Right. See Carlos Santana, and you look back a couple of years at one of the best pure hitters in the league now out in Anaheim, Victor Martinez. Gone, and Santana has his chance now. You saw him hit a long home run earlier in the game out into the right field bullpen.
And a strike to Santana.
dangerous pitch there, Kenny. That little short slider on the inner half for a left-handed pitcher.
And that's Pendleton getting ready. The last thing you want to do is get up a guy in the bullpen when you have an 8-run lead in the 9th inning. Then things are not going according to plan. And there's a base hit for Santana. Run will score. Everyone else moves up. Single and a ribby for Santana. Now it's 11 for Yankees. 4 straight singles surrendered by Snead.
And the thing is, you look out, if you're Larry Rothschild, you're Joe Girardi, you look out there and it's like, you know, it's not tonight that bothers you. You know, you're going to get through tonight. You're going to win this game. But it's, if this is a close game tomorrow, who do you have in these situations if it's not the 8th and 9th inning when you've got Robertson and Mariano? I mean, you've got to have somebody that you can trust to get some big outs.
Joe Girardi sent Cervelli out there to talk to Snead, so Pendleton can get a few more tosses in the bullpen.
Well, Whalen didn't do the job. Snead has not done the job. And now they'll try to have Pendleton come in and do the job. And that right now is the state of this bullpen, which is in flux, trying to rebound from the sudden rash of injuries. Yankees trying to hold on. We'll be back. Play. Great partnerships are built on trust. At G Capital, we prove that every day.
Yeah, watch Granderson in second. He's going to attempt to steal third. He's going to get some help from third base coach Robbie Thompson. When the ball gets away, Granderson immediately looks up at the coach, gets a signal to head home, and the Yankees pick up a run. Granderson never knew where the ball was, but he knew what his coach was telling him.
So Robbie Thompson, part of the GE Capital partner play. Now Lance Pendleton will try to get the final couple of outs of this game. You see his numbers. This last time I gave up his first big league runs. 8 hits, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts in 11 innings, a 2.45 ERA. Made his major league debut this year with the Yankees. And he faces a tough customer in Chu. Chu 0 for 3 with a walk. Exactly 24 hours ago, they were throwing the first pitch of the final game of the Yankees-Red Sox series after a 3-hour, 27-minute rain delay. Rip foul. One.
This happened.
He started batting practice today, right?
Yep. This is not what you want when you're up 11-3, to get your closer up. But Joe's thinking if Chu hits a home run, makes it 11-8, goes from 11-4 to 11-8.
Becomes a safe situation.
No, and one more guy would have to get on. You have to try and run on deck. 3-run lead with nobody out in the ninth is a save. He forces in a run. It's getting close to a save situation.
You know what this is becoming, though, is we talked about how much of a bounce back it was for the offense to put up the numbers. Then all of a sudden, it's going to become an ugly game because of the way it's ending from the bullpen. But you know what? In the end, Kenny, when you go home, a win's a win, right? You just got to get these last 2 outs. And
you think Joe Girardi wants this win? He's going to call up Mariano Rivera. It's 11-5. It's not even a save situation. No, it is. The tying run would be on deck. So it is a sit. No, it's not. Let me correct. It's not a save situation. It's a 6-run lead, but Joe doesn't want to mess with it. So Mariano comes in. We'll duck out for just a moment as the mighty Mo tries to close this one out. The state of the Yankee bullpen right now. You have Mariano Rivera and David Robertson. And I guess there's a modicum of trust concerning Boone Logan. Everybody else pretty much out there is a neophyte. Luis Ayala has done nicely, but he hasn't pitched in any real pressure situations. And Mariano hasn't pitched since Sunday. They got to close this game out and nail this win down, so Joe brings him in.
I think Joe getting a little tired of watching ball 4 in the earlier inning. And then base hits in this inning. So it just wants to put a stop to it.
I think it is also telling some of these guys that are out there, you're on a short rope. Come out here, do the job, or else.
Laporta tonight 1 for 3 with a walk. That one is lined into right center field. Swisher can't make the play and gets by him. 2 runs will score. Laporta with a 2-run single, and now it's 11-7.
Here's another look. It looked like this ball got up and towards the middle of the plate. Laporta got decent wood on it, not the best wood. But Nick Swisher trying to close the gap, lays out and comes up a little short. And Cleveland will score a couple of runs. There's Laporta on the follow through with the swing, and this finds the gap in right center.
Here's Cord Phelps. Count 1-0. Popped up. And the Yankees are 1 out away. That's going to bring up Adam Everett. This is the spot vacated by Orlando Cabrera, who was thrown out of the game, arguing a called third strike in the 8th inning. So Everett's first time up. Cabrera was 0 for 4. 0-1. Popped up. This should do it. Teixeira makes the play. Put it on the left side as the Yankees win 11-7. It wasn't easy, especially in the late innings, but the Yankees hang on for an 11-7 win. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's tonight's Chevy Player of the Game. Jorge Posada figurine night turns into Jorge Posada 3-hit night. Second 3-hit game of this homestand. Derek Jeter inched 1 hit closer to 3,000, now 9 away after his 1-hit night. Big home run by Alex Rodriguez. Joe Girardi nose to nose with Manny Acta as both benches cleared after Mark Teixeira was hit following Curtis Granderson's home run in the 2nd inning, and this was by Fausto Carmona. And Alex Rodriguez with a monster home run out by the StubHub sign out in left center field. So the Yankees bounce back, snap a 3-game losing streak with an 11-7 victory over the Indians. And now let's go down on the field with Kim Jones. Kim?
Mark, the 9th inning got a little hairy, but with Nova's performance and plenty of offense, how much did you need a win like this?
Yeah, we really need this one. I think for our offense more than anything. You know, Nova pitched great, obviously, but it feels good to be able to score 11 runs every now and then.
You guys put 3 on the board in the first. Granderson hits a long home run. And then, Mark, what do you see from Carmona?
I see a sinker baller that throws everything to me down and away, and then I get one in my neck. So, unfortunately, he decided that's the way he wanted to pitch me, and I didn't care for it too much.
Do you believe it's because of the Granderson home run?
Oh, yeah. Curtis hit that thing to Harlem. I mean, he crushed that ball, and, I guess the next pitch he wanted to send some kind of message.
Bench is clear. Take us through that, and if you saw your manager getting after it with Manny Acta.
Yeah, I love it when Joe sticks up for us. Joe's the best, and I wouldn't want to mess with Joe. I think he's got 15 years on me, but I think he can still take me.
Bases clearing double in the 7th. How sweet is that as retaliation on your part?
That was big. I mean, we needed it too. At the end of the game, we needed that. But, every time you get the bases loaded, you want to do some damage, and doubles are always nice.
How sick are you guys of being hit by pitches?
It happens. I don't mind getting hit by pitches. It's just when it's on purpose and above the head, or above the shoulders. When you start messing with the neck and head, and it's on purpose, there's really no reason for that.
Mark, thanks so much for your time.
All right, thanks.
Michael, back to you.
All right, thanks, Mark, and thanks to Kim as well. So the Yankees win this one 11-7. A home run for Curtis Granderson. Mark Teixeira with a bases-clearing double. A lot of offense for the Yankees as they win and snap a 3-game losing streak. We'll be back.